Hello everyone and welcome back to our Let's Play the United States with Industry Banned as our economic law. We are working with the first patch or hotfix that they've launched for 1.9 here. It fixed a couple of things, notably the invasion bug we were having. It was an issue with split states that has reportedly been fixed now, so we might get to test that out a bit. They also did some tweaks with trade. It's still the same right now for us because I haven't ticked the game forward. But we'll keep an eye on it. We'll probably see. These numbers are still kind of inaccurate with the tariffs and whatnot. I feel like it's inaccurate. But judging by the subventions, it seems a little closer now. We'll check on that later. Anyway, we are going to try to get the Panama Canal built from New Granada if we can convince them to sell it to us here. Get that company going and enjoy more of that free money. They did also fix treaty ports being insane. The Trade Center no longer has a ludicrous 1,000% advantage bonus. It still gets an absurdly large advantage bonus, but it's no longer into the absolute stratosphere. And once Secret Police passes, we'll see about getting poor laws enacted and just kind of go from there. I do also need to check really quick to see where we are at in trying to get some of into our little power block. There we are. I was going to say power block leverage is somewhere here. Someone told me where to find that. And that's going to make it easier to bring a lot of these people into the fold. Because we might as well, right? We might as well bring them in and make them ours. Oh, yes, actually, something else I need to show off because I don't even have the influence for this anyway. We can't make a new one yet, but they did fix the bug regarding company monopolies now. So if France were to give us the investment rights and we have those established, we would now be able... In fact, I think it just moved it. I'm not seeing it, but the company monopoly would now function. I'm not seeing it at the moment, and I think that's just because we haven't set up the article yet. So it's still disabled on both sides. We have to, establish that first and go from there. But reportedly, that should be fixed now. And we're just going to let things tick along. We're going to try to see if we can expand the firearms company, too, and make them more valuable. Just try to get more of those guns selling, really. Spain's improving relations. How nice. Let's take the success chance there. Hopefully we can import more steel soon, but that really does depend on how much the global market can throw our way. But it looks like our imports are still working. Also, I was also shown by a friend the trade potential system, which helps tell you, hey, this state could export more fabric and import more steel if it had the capacity to do so. Now, I don't know the exact amount it imports per level for each one. That's probably different depending on the structure in question. But that tells us two things. First off, we could go ahead and expand things in California and places like South Carolina. It also told me that New York does not have any additional trade potential right now, so it has been built up too excessively. In fact, we either have to expand the economy in New York for other types of exports, such as, say, iron, or we need to downsize. Now, it's building a lot of furniture manufacturing here, and we have tools, so I think we're just going to let it do its thing here. But beyond that, we are not going to expand New York any further. Oh, good! Hungarians to California, actually. That is actually big. Nice 6,000 pops a week. Over 6,000, really. Because we got to keep growing. There's also a bug where all the nations that start with women's rights to any extent or slaves had some of their pops deleted at the start of the game. So that's kind of bemusing and funny, but also a little scary. So it means the world actually started with less pops than it should have. Which, isn't the best. Oh, Sweden's having a revolt. I didn't notice that. We are still having some of the stuttering problems, unfortunately. There is allegedly a way to fix it, but I think I did not integrate it as I wanted to, which is a little unfortunate, but that's okay. We will get through this anyway. And we're going to incorporate Panama anyway, just as we're doing with the cyanide. That way it's easier for them to be accessed. We also need to remind ourselves, I believe it's the ports we have to build, right? The ports and trade centers, what they bounce off of, even though it doesn't really work. So we're probably just in the Panama Canal here zone. We're probably just gonna build a couple of ports here. In fact, that's what we need to do to actually connect the market in the first place. So we'll just do one of those right now. Torrent of abuse, so that just sounds rude. 90% chance he'll survive. It should be fine. Oh, wait, this is the yeoman farmers. I really should defend them then. Gotta get those farmer markets, you know? Although the real reason is to just make sure they don't stop boosting all the agriculture we have. I do want to get Mexico annexed at some point here. We do have them as a puppet now, so we should be able to get that pretty soonish. But we need to go ahead and grab that last principle before we get external trade 3. That way, well, I mean, we're at 12 members now, so we probably don't have to worry about it. I also just realized I never changed this up a bit, so... I like the 18th pattern more than the first pattern. Oh, Jamaica exists. Didn't even know it did exist. In the game, that is. So that's a small surprise. But I'd say it's a somewhat delightful surprise nonetheless. Do we even export any of these? Apparently there's demand for it. There's imports and exports. Oh, apparently we're the lead exporter of tools. I did not realize this. How funny. Yep, I also know our investment pool is primarily doing privatizations, and the reinvestment is probably lower than it might be. I think that's because of just how we've been investing and reinvesting. It's also possibly because of various buildings never quite sustaining their profitability in the long run. Because things like explosives are always pretty expensive. Which doesn't really help them that much. Engines are always expensive too. We're kind of relying on imports, but the imports are reaching a point where it's just, we need more being exported, and that's not happening. If we can get more influence, we could try to create certain treaties that drop the tariffs on various goods that we want exported to the world market so we can import them. Because there are things like steel that are being tariffed by Britain. I kind of went over and checked some of those countries out for a little bit and noticed that. So that is one thing we'd be able to do in order to mitigate the problem. Doesn't guarantee we would solve the problem, it would just make it less painful for us to deal with. We do actually have our 18th interest we can declare. Honestly, I'm going to kind of declare it over here in this Bengal region, just so we have trade there. I don't think it really matters because India's in the British market for now, but considering it's a dominion, you never know. That could collapse later. We'll find out. We also don't really need to boost Granada anymore. We got what we wanted out of them. So, we don't need to make them any happier. They've already given us what we came for. Yeah, I see the Afro-American national movement keeps appearing and disappearing, which is a little weird, but... I mean, they do what they want, I suppose. I think they may have fixed the investment pool issues, too, so I kind of want to re-expand into Great Britain again if we could renegotiate the treaty. I don't want to declare Germany a rival, because I'd rather trade with the big market that they stand as. But without more influence, we're kind of stuck with all the power block embassies we've established. In fact, I just realized something. All of these are no longer in... these treaties are just power block embassies. We technically don't need them anymore. Because I guess they technically don't exist anymore. Does the game still consider it in existing? It does, for the sake of keeping them in the power block, but it looks like even without that, they still stay into it pretty hard. So I think we could just withdraw from all the treaties over here. And that will free up some of our influence. At least from the smaller ones. From the bigger ones like Argentina and Brazil, I'd rather just renegotiate the treaty to where it's no longer in effect. So for example here, for Brazil, I'd rather just renegotiate it to where we no longer have it there. Actually, I would love to do investment rights in Brazil, considering that would be really strong for us. And then we'll see if they agree to that before we go any further. Okay, we got Zeppelins, and nothing popped up, which tells me they did not agree to the negotiation difference. Oh, no, they're still considering it. Okay, that's better then. Anyway, Zeppelins, 5% increase to our market access price impact. That will be strong as soon as it actually takes effect. And I really want to get vacuum canning done. That way we can boost our groceries further before we do anything else. Then we'll probably get feminism and try to get their rights going. We'll somewhat try. We'll try. I promise we'll try. I just don't know how long it will take. I'd like to make more sugar domestically. I feel like we import sugar too much, but maybe that's just me. Maybe we don't import enough sugar. Who knows? Who's to say? Ooh, 25 trade capacity for 2 years would be nice, but I don't want to mess that up for the long run. I'll just get the 30 offense for 2 years. We probably won't use it, but it guarantees that if anyone tries to beat us up, it won't go anywhere. Are they still thinking on that treaty? Did they get stuck on it? I guess they got stuck on it. It should wipe itself out at some point. Not that it matters too much. See if we can't do similar negotiations over here. We'll just give them time to think on it. Well, I wonder if it's because of the way I'm going about it, they're getting stuck in a loop trying to think on it, and I've got to restart it now. Just, I don't know. But it doesn't seem like they're wanting to take it. Okay, let's just remove the power block embassy. And does that work? Ooh, I hope they haven't bugged it with the new update, or it's because I'm playing on what's now technically an older save. Oh, hey, new party exists. Oh, cool. That means I get to kick you out of government. And we really need someone to take its spot. Oh. Yes. There we go. We can get rid of the cruel ruler again, and instead we'll have a firebrand opium addict in charge. Wow, this really isn't doing me favors. That does not sound any better. I don't think we're going to get into the colonization of Africa, so I am just going to... Well, actually, if we get Alaska, that would be good. Nah, we'll drop it anyway. We don't need it. I see the yeomans are suddenly very upset. Oh, because we're enacting secret police. Right, well, I kind of did myself in with that, didn't I? Alright then. In that case, I guess we could try to pass poor laws so people stop starving. We did technically promise that, didn't we? The top 3 expensive goods in our country are all goods we can't make. I love it. I feel like there's nothing I can do. There's nothing that can be done. Is South Carolina full on exports, or is it just like it could do it if it wanted to? It could do it. It's not doing it yet because it's technically not making money. Not sure how it decides that yet. I guess having more trade centers would give it more weekly trade potential, which would help. But I also don't want to make them too big to where they just fail outright regardless. Maybe we just need more wheat. Don't worry. Don't worry about the lack of fertilizer. It'll be fine. I've been told everything. Wow. You know what? Someone did tell me that the US got more oil as well, and I guess what they said is true. Apparently the US has much larger oil rigs now in a lot of its states. So that's going to be fun. We'll just go ahead and get a bunch of government administration centers going. And then I think, honestly, we'll just build some more universities just to get the tech spread going. Since we do get some tech spread from excessive innovation, it's not a lot, but I figure we must push this up a little more to make sure production never falls behind our technology tree. And at some point, we got to get women's rights. Solely to just, you know, get a higher standard of living. Although the higher growth rate and all the continual, what are those called? Mass migrations is making sure we never run out. French to Texas, okay. I guess France is just coming over for a permanent visit. The Austrian, all the Austrian pops, all the French pops. All right, time for standard of living to go back up again. Please ignore the fact it's an opium addict. I swear, we'll clean up our act later. Yeah, there we go. Now it's as high as it's ever been. And that's actually made people a little happier. We even got solidarity. That probably won't last. They're only happy because we're changing a law right now and they don't like industry banned, but... And again, who likes industry banned at this point except me? At least the economy's growing. We're at a GDPC of 2.2 finally. And these are growing, which is good to see. That means the expansions to certain parts of the trade network did increase imports to an extent. Not to a great extent. There is kind of a limiting factor of how much demand there is on the market for goods and then how much they can make in profit. Because obviously if it reaches a point where they can't make a profit on it in the world market, they're not going to try to trade any further. But I do see Britain is increasingly making more engines and those are getting sold. Actually, it looks like they're a little still divided. Surprisingly divided. Canada is making a lot of it. At least is selling a lot of it. Is it the Trade Center that's just selling a lot to the Americans? Sure enough, it is. It even has room for more. Now that we have a bit of our influence back, I guess we'll try to renegotiate with Britain. Hopefully, trade negotiations aren't broken here, because I'm getting a slight feeling current treaties we signed are broken, and I have to make new ones, which would really suck. I want to see no tariffs, because we can technically ask them to not put tariffs on something like steel, so it's easier for them to export it, or engines, but as you can see, they're kind of reluctant to do that, and I think the reason why they're reluctant to do that is because it makes it harder for them to keep it in their country, and they don't like that. So let's try to see if we can't get investment rights instead. Okay, see, that one worked. It must... Okay, so for these, it must be a bug with the power block embassy. So let's try withdrawing from this treaty, and then we'll just negotiate for a new one with Brazil, where we still guarantee their independence. Oh, you know what? I see why it's not working. Because they're in our customs union, they can't have the trade agreement. That's why it's not working. That makes a lot of sense. We could pay them money, I love it. There's no point in goods transfer because they're in our market. That's weird that you can actually do goods transfer, even though... So this would what? This would just prohibit us from trading any clothes. That would be really bad. So it's basically a 6% chance, 30% chance that we can get investment rights in exchange for guaranteeing their independence. What about a defense alliance? That goes up to 50. What is the difference in cost? 25. I could do it for Brazil. Yeah, now we can build in Brazil. Because I don't think I can build in the others without the... Yeah. We either need the principal, which is foreign investment that would allow us over time to always have foreign investment rights and those who are lower ranked than us, or we'd have to do something else. We could get internal trade, which would be fun for just more company throughput and infrastructure, but I feel like that's a waste. There's always advanced research, so we can spend more innovation, and I think that's what we'll go for. I love police coordination because it just helps in keeping political movement activism down. So it makes it harder for people to revolt against you. There is an argument for militarized industry if you wanted to make more guns. You can't go wrong with a lot of these principal groups, even including construction even right now. Technically, vassalization would be wrong because we have, like, 2 vassals, so it's not very useful. Transportation infrastructure, you can't go wrong. They added an economy of scale cap to it, which is pretty nice. I think let's go for advanced research. That way things like tech spread are stronger, and we can just get through the production side a little faster by having that. Right, so now our financial districts are buying a bunch of stuff in the British market, which hopefully will just lead to much higher... Oh yeah, company reinvestment is already going up. Company headquarters are actually up. Were they doing something while I wasn't watching? Or are they just making more money now? I guess they're just making more money is all it is that the demand is just growing, and that's all we're seeing the result of is just higher demand, which is good. If higher demand means more profit, I am all for it. New York is running out of peasants, but I think it's because they have lots of unemployed. No. Interesting. So New York is kind of almost done when it comes to being industrialized for now. We'll see where it goes. I love how we're building all these universities because, of course we are. Why wouldn't we? The investment pool seems to be growing, which is also good, but I think they're doing a lot of foreign investment. Yeah, about 2 out of 5 buildings are foreign investment, but one of that is our little cotton plantation, which is definitely nice to see. We could actually look into getting regional HQs now that I'm a little more confident that the foreign investment bug should be fixed. Keyword is should. That doesn't mean it is fixed. I'm just assuming it's fixed. Oh god, there's no one here in Panama. And I built 5 of these. I need some authority back. You know what? We don't need anyone in the American Sinai. Well, we do need people in the American Sinai. I just don't need to attract anyone else there. I think it's got enough pops as it is. We need to Americanize the other canal now. And yes, I say Americanize because the American Sinai is mostly Dixie. I see there's that revolt in Portugal. I guess we could have stepped in, maybe gotten a subject out of it. We didn't really pay attention, though. Oh, but who cares? It's fine. Everything's fine. It's not fine. We're gonna pretend it's fine. Because why not? I see we suddenly have a lot of influence now that I renegotiated and also broke a lot of what we had there. I think it's also because our leader changed and he's a more amicable leader when it comes to things. He's got the political operator. I don't think Firebrand's helping. Actually, it might be because he's popular, and popularity does have an impact on a lot of modifiers. But we'll see. And we're just trying to rope the rest of Latin America into our power block, because why not? Why shouldn't we? We have a treaty with Japan, right? We do, for another 19 years. Investment rights, embassy, that makes sense. And I just need to double check our rights with Qing, because I know they gave us the treaty port. Can we renegotiate this? We could try to renegotiate it for investment rights. Well, we'd have to do something like give up the treaty port. Well, we can't give up the treaty port. I don't think there's anything else I could offer them. Oh, wait, no, I can offer them the embassy. Do they not have an embassy already with us? No? Yeah, we could do that. We'll renegotiate it, add on investment rights for embassy. They really like that idea. In fact, could we squeeze out a second treaty port? Probably not, because everything's like at minus 240. Yeah, no, we couldn't squeeze out another treaty port. But we can squeeze in investment rights. And they did agree to that. That is how you'd get the wall of text too. And then I think if we go to renegotiate again, now we could do a company monopoly if we so choose. I don't think we need the company monopoly, but you can't go wrong with forcing all the food industries in Qing to bow to our investors, especially... I don't even know if they have any. Do they have any? I think they only import it. I'm gonna say, I don't know if they make groceries here. They do make some groceries, but it's mostly imported groceries. But imagine the amount of profit we could get here. It's Qing. If everyone's obsessed with those, I love that idea. Let's do it. Company monopoly, food industries. Because that monopoly, and I did test this in a Russia game that I live streamed, if a company has a monopoly, so if our company has a monopoly on food industries in the Qing market, only our company can build it. Not even Qing itself can build it. Because it's a foreign monopoly. It's been declined. I'm surprised they declined it. I thought it was a guaranteed success. Maybe I was wrong. So we are going to have to wait until... Oh. 2 more days? I was gonna say, I think we have to wait a while before we can send it again. No, they just told me to sit down for a few days. Maybe it's because we had just done one and they were on a short cooldown for it. No, they're still declining it. I wonder if it's because it's too similar or if it's because it's... Oh, you know what? It could be to prevent... It could be preventing us from doing something like embassy spam, which I can see players absolutely doing to try and get recognition. That could be what's going on there, so it's preventing us from doing it. Oh. The capital in Spain has decided to revolt. Iberia is just on fire. Ooh, so close. The current Spain's pretty antagonistic, so a different Spain being in charge would have been nice. So I think it's because of the embassy, and I noticed I can't revoke it either. So that's a little unfortunate, but we still have the investment rights itself, which means our company can still come in and buy it out from the financial districts. It doesn't mean they will, it just means they could. But as you can see, they're currently doing that in East Anglia right now. They actually just bought one. They own 2 of them, and they're actually trying to own more of them. So that's something we could also do in Britain, because Britain is fairly big. We could go over to them and say, hey, can I get a monopoly on your food industries? And they're going to tell us no, because, oh my god, we're a great power. And I guess we leave it at that and just hope for the best instead. I didn't realize great powers will tell you no on monopolies, but it gives a -300 for great powers. It doesn't mean you couldn't get it, it just means it's pretty difficult and you'd be a little hard-pressed to pull it off. You absolutely could pull it off, but you're going to have to really pull... The anarchist movement formed. Oh no, the anarchist movement. Anyway, you would have to really pull off some wacky maneuvers. Or just really sell them on something. I just realized the reason why reinvestment's a lot higher is because we got the Zeppelins, so the market access price impact of everything got better. So New York is closer to the American market price now on everything. So bringing in sugar got easier, as an example. Which should, yes, it did. I was going to say it should have helped the trade center as well, which is now at 753. Because all of the local prices are closer to market price, which makes it a little easier to get all of that extra revenue, since it's not as cheap, although some things like tools still seem to suffer. In fact, did that change the math at all? It doesn't seem to have changed the math for our current trade potentials. That could be something as simple as there's just nothing else to trade on the market. It could be that they can't import more steel, there isn't any more motors, things like that. That's what it could be. It also could be they think they wouldn't make more money relative to the cost of paying workers. Really, there's no telling what their thought process is there. It could be the wages though, who knows? We might need to pay them less. Finding oil everywhere. Speaking of oil, are we exporting any of this oil? We are consuming. Oil is getting consumed a lot, actually, but it is seeing an export too, which is nice. I don't mind us exporting oil. I think that would be very enriching. Metropolitan Police. What is still missing this? Oh, California has no railway. I was like, why is the Transcontinental Railway not finished? Well, it turns out you kind of need a railway in California. And guess who didn't build a railway in California? Oh, God. Well, at least we know whose head this is going to be pinned on later. Really could make more dye, actually. We might, even though it would take up cotton plantations, being able to make more dye would be nice. So I think we might build up some dye plantations there, just so we have the dye and don't need it. An embargo against Russia. I'd rather not, but who's in this? Oh, the trade union's in it. Well, that's unfortunate. Still gonna say no. Still gonna say no. Yeah, let's ban child labor now. That would be a good step in the right direction. And in 3 months we get vacuum canning. Whoa, oh, wow! We're getting a mass migration from Belgium. I didn't even know Belgium would do that. Belgium can do that, I'm teasing. Oh wow, their economy has actually fallen. It shrunk at one point, it hasn't fully recovered. That might be why we're seeing migration from Belgium. They are in the throes of an economic recession. Regional headquarters in Wallonia. Wow! So the Hudson Bay Company set up an HQ in Belgium and just bought up all the trade centers and logging camps. Oh, I see, their trade centers collapsed. They must have gotten tossed into a downward spiral, I suppose. and that just kind of ate them up. Oh my god, I don't know why it's, oh, I see why it's bringing it up, because this is where they last acted. Privatized food industries in Quebec. Oh, Lower Canada, Quebec? Yeah, Lower Canada, Quebec. That makes more sense. Honestly, we could set up regional companies. I just don't know if they're good. I know what regional companies do is it uses that investment pool from that economy and investment, which honestly, Britain wouldn't be a bad idea. We could give the food conglomerate investment rights, which allows it to set up regional HQs. And it does mention a lot here. It gives them the right to access the foreign countries' foreign investment and construction instead of our own. And part of their dividends gets sent back to our investment pool. I say let's try it for the sake of trying new things. This could slow acquisition in Britain, but it could also accelerate it. We really don't know. That's why we're kind of just doing this, just to see what happens. They have to get 5 levels before they can establish it, but once they do, to my understanding, it will then transfer that over. But first, they need to buy a bunch of levels. And they've only got 3 in one state. So we'll see how long it takes. We can actually... They could actually do it in Qing, too, if they get enough levels. I don't know if that would be good, because Qing probably doesn't have a lot of construction going on. That being said, I'm still all for it. We build livestock branches here. I think I know what I want to build here. It's like textiles, furniture, glassworks, just the whole shebang. Get all that set up. And just kind of go from there. And the stuttering is a bit unfortunate. I tried to fix that with a suggestion that someone sent me online, but I'm pretty sure I messed it up while trying to do it. Game still looks pretty, at least. But aside from the occasional stutters, it's not that bad. Putting that aside, they've already fixed some of the bugs. So I do have heart that in due time it will all be fixed. At least most of it will be. Uh-oh, building type. I can't believe I messed that up. I was about to panic. So this won't use too much oil. The issue is it's going to use a good deal of fish. We actually have plenty of fish set up already, because if you recall, we were exporting lots of fish. In fact, let's build some more of those. It's just a matter of the fact that, it's going to eat up a lot of resources otherwise. Actually, not a lot. It's just going to drop food industry prices for a bit. Let's actually invest in Mexico. We are going to annex Mexico, so we may as well just build it up now, so it's nice and ready. With vacuum canning done, I really want to get other things like steel railway cars and improved fertilizer. It takes longer because we're under industry banned, which is why I haven't been touching it as much, since the technology takes longer. Kind of why we've been going around it a little weirdly. I kind of want to do the Great Plains one just because it gets... Yeah, let's do the Great Plains one just because that gets more states to the mass migration and helps get more of them built up at once. Oh, there's Brazilians and North Germans here now. How nice. Hopefully, as it grows, it'll get better with time. With time, it will get better. Right, so... Surprisingly, the price of our food industries, the productivity had that small dip. That's when we started changing it over. Otherwise, it's fine. The price went down, but the productivity is actually fine. There's no issues whatsoever. I'm shocked. It even added engineers. It added people to it. 200 engineers per level, and it's still fine. In fact, it started at 250 engineers. It almost doubled the number of engineers working here, which is fantastic in my opinion, because they get paid well. I'm just surprised at how stable that was. We probably started exporting more. No, we didn't start exporting more. We're just using more. Some of the tooltips in the trade window, when I'm mousing over who it's saying it's from, is still kind of off. It's not really entirely accurate, but we do know that Britain is the one that kind of exports all that steel. And I would love to get them to, this is why I keep thinking on it, I would love to get them to not have tariffs on it. We can agree to not put tariffs on engines, but that's not what we're looking for. We just want no tariffs on steel. It's funny with opium, they won't agree either, but I think that's to a different extent. Oh, wow. India had a few tiny revolts, I guess. Go India! Something. I don't know. I don't think they're happy about that. They're buying arms industries in foreign markets now, too. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, the checks are coming. There we go. A regional HQ has set up in Britain, in East Anglia. It now owns all the food industries there. We'll check back in on it later to see if it's growing at all. But if we go to our investment pool now, we can see regional company headquarters is already sending 4K back. So that's pretty cool. We do see it still owns some food industries. The main one does own some, like in Leinster, so it looks like it will still keep some of them. It just kind of lets the regional HQ do its own thing to an extent. Oh, New Hampshire really needs jobs, apparently. It's, God, all these states actually have lots of unemployed. They usually don't get that many. I'm very happy to see that they have unemployed because it means we can actually build them up. Heck, we could probably build new trade centers here if they weren't, performing weirdly. They're probably performing weirdly because they don't have an economy. Yeah, I think we'll be alright. Corsicans, yay. I think we could build up our tobacco plantation a bit, just to employ a lot of pops at once. I don't think anything will go wrong. Also realizing we don't really need to fund the food industries anymore. One of them is still producing liquor, and it would actually probably be more profitable if it didn't. Yeah, we could switch you off at least. Booming oil industry, we didn't get the combustion engine bonus, but that's fine. Because we didn't have the prerequisite techs unlocked. Do like how a lot of that oil is being consumed by pops, then a good deal of it is being exported. Presumably Britain is buying it up. No, Qing is buying up oil. Qing is buying up oil. Yeah, they are buying up oil. What are they using oil for? Apparently they don't have Steeler engines either, and they're trying to import those. Oh no, they're producing them. That's even better. What are you using oil for? Pop consumption. Okay, fair enough. I can't find any fault in that logic at all. I love watching our reinvestment pool grow here as they just buy more stuff overseas. It does weird things for our budget though, because I have to constantly plan new constructions because they're not constructing anything. And we're not getting various constructions like textile. Well, we can build textiles. I meant steel. We're not getting those. In fact, clothes are becoming a little cheap now. Well, it looks like a good time to invest in making fabric even cheaper. That's what I'm going to take this as a sign for, even though that's very arbitrary and somewhat inaccurate. It's also why I've been building more logging camps and just letting those get exported. It's better than sitting around not using our construction pool at all. Oh, I thought I paused. Apparently, I did not. And thus time moved forward. For now. Well, coal's not cheap, it's just explosives are very expensive. And tools keep getting expensive, I noticed, but that might be again because of all the logging camps we're building, so. Hard to say. Just kind of build a couple of them everywhere. And that will probably help. South German from Austria to South Dakota. Man, Austria must be undergoing significant turmoil because there's been a lot of mass migrations from it. Also, our historical data graph for foreign countries appears to have broken when it comes to population. So I don't know... It's only broken for some countries. France is fine. I don't know what's going on there. We're going to ignore that. But they do have a protesting Catholic movement. Flemish as well now. Ooh. Oh yeah, Belgium's got a protesting communist movement that has significant presence. Like, they could actually overthrow them. Ooh. We're making our way into Qing. I feel like we're not supposed to be able to have access to Qing like this. I think the Chinese internal politics is meant to be on both, and they accidentally only added it one way. But I'm going to enjoy it while we can because it's funny. And I think what's funny is the most fun way to play this game right now. It does mean peasants might start starving as they try to buy up clothes over grain and there's not enough. If we cause a massive famine in Qing, that's gonna be a highlight. That'll be a highlight of the video on its own. We could get access to rubber. Oh! Germany ended its rivalry. Yay! And we have cold relations, but they might agree to a treaty. Let's check. Trade privileges. I don't think they're going to agree to... They would give us investment rights if they got something else out of it, maybe. Ooh, this is good, though. This is good. Yeah, their current diplomatic stance makes them have a hard time. They're reconciliatory, yes, but we're not any weaker than them. Let's just do just the trade privileges for now. That way we have more trade between our markets and we can improve relations as time goes on. I forgot to put it for 25 years. But that's okay. We've got to repair relations first. And then we can go from there. Maybe we should increase our welfare. We probably don't need to. We could probably keep welfare pretty low for now. It's something we can increase later. We are paying very little on it, though, so it's not really something to be scared of. I just don't want to oversaturate our system. I love how we're still on legal guardianship, so our workforce ratio is 25%. The population's just been growing, so that's where we're getting a lot of our workers from. But we really need to switch that over. Who is against it? Oh, right, the Protestant traditional... Yeah, I forgot they are still around. That's kind of why we wanted the secret police, but that didn't really pan out. Which is fine. That happens. If we don't want to go for that, there's not really any other laws I can go for. We're keeping census suffrage for other reasons. I guess let's just try to push for women having the right to own property. And we'll just kind of see where that goes. Well, I never said they wouldn't be upset. Oh, 91%. Whoa. It's because of that plus 50% Protestant standard of living comparison. That is a bug. It'd still be sitting at 41, though. With that bug not being there. So that is a little scary. If we rush straight to political agitation, we could get the movement that helps us get women's rights. I'm gonna let tech spread handle production for now, I think. Central planning's always fun. Corporate governance, you can't go wrong with that. That's another company right there. Philosophical pragmatism is always good. I don't know, there's a lot of good techs here. A lot of good text. Let's go for political agitation first. That way we get the women's rights movement. Panama Canal is done. Which means we should be able to build the canal company unless we're missing any requirements. Yep, there we are. And the current Suez Canal Company, if you remember, we gave them a monopoly on shipyards. So they have just been buying up a bunch of shipyards here and there. They also bought up trade centers. They're not too big. But apparently they bought up a bunch of ports in western Guangdong and have been using that to pay for a lot of their necessities. So we will see what we can do for the Panama Canal Company. It can also be given shipyards, but we gave someone else. We could actually still grant them shipyards too. I just don't know how that would work. We could give them a monopoly on ports, but are ports even profitable? It seems like they are. I mean, the Suez Canal Company's bought some up. We could remove the monopoly rights on shipyards, but I'll keep it. I think what we do is maybe we give the Panama Canal Company a right to ports, like a monopoly right to ports. That would increase the merchant marine's price by 20% though, which is not a good idea. So I think let's just let the canal company sit for now, and we'll see if it buys up assets and makes itself stronger. So we'll just kind of ignore it for the moment. It needs time to build up prosperity anyway. So a tech finish for the military. I don't even know what it was. Probably enlistment offices. Right, a gander. And again, it happened right as I hit escape. That was cameras for prestige. I have way too good of a timing for that. I don't even mean to hit the button. It just happens. Ooh, should we expand our urban centers? You know, even though half of them are very poor right now, some of them actually could make use of these steel and glass. You know what? Let's just switch them over. If they fail, they fail. If they succeed, they succeed. We're just going to increase our steel demand so they import more, please. As for glass, we can actually make glass. We have a much higher glass demand than I expected. Okay, there we go. It was showing me a lot of foreign demand for glass production when I wanted domestic production. And I'm very curious. So, the food conglomerate now has one in Mexico, which is funny to me because it's literally in our country. And it has one in Eastern Hubei, so they're starting to set up their HQs overseas, which is cool. And we'll just kind of see where it goes. It is kind of weird that the main company and your regional HQ company can both own buildings. But I think it works in the end regardless. Because now they're doing 8K, which isn't much, but they're not that big either, and it's only in food industries. The Lee Wilson Company, we could give them investment rights too, but I don't know how overseas they are. They're not that overseas. They're mainly located in the US, so it wouldn't really go anywhere. I guess there's a Suez Canal Company, but I don't think they need that. What is this color of arms industries? I love it. Oh, I love it. How is it in Nanjing? I love how they're making Colt revolvers in Nanjing. That's just so funny to me. What is pop consumption for it like? It's very weak, which isn't surprising. But it's very funny. Oh, we're actually making more Colt revolvers, I've noticed. That's pretty cool. In fact, if we go to our opulent capitalists here, which are getting that +2 modifier, opulent with a 30% tax rate, like that's pretty good. Small arms is their fourth largest budget expenditure. I can't wait to import automobiles and have my entire economy collapse around that. We really should get steam trains though. That would probably help with the. Well, it wouldn't really fix the pricing. A lot of the transportation costs are pretty much in the gutter. But in the areas that have HQs, it's extremely expensive and you just can't get enough. Which I think is neat. Ooh. So when the rushes subside, there's a new event. You can just say oil will last us forever. You can force it to continue for 10 more years. Or push it into manufacturing for 10 years. That's cool. I like how they've changed that. I think they made it a bit better that way. That's pretty cool. We should get an oil company. That would be fun. Oil company would be very fun. So, level 3 advanced research. That's going to give us 25 more cap to our innovation. Well, 20 right now. It's going to be 25 when education finishes getting to level 5. It used to be that could go up to 50, now it goes up to 25. And I think nerfing it was needed because advanced research was so powerful that it was pretty much a mandatory thing you got as soon as you could get it. Pretty often. Nowadays, in 1.9, I would say it's still really good to get it, but there's no longer that pressure of you have to get it because it's the best thing ever. You could forego it and still be fine. You could still get it and still be fine. It's up to you. How is our lead mine doing? We just started building a bunch more glass, so I'm just gonna upgrade the lead mine a bit now. And we're making a lot of money. I hope to drop us from very high taxes to high taxes at some point. We could also just get even more construction, especially since we're planning to give women more rights. Oh, our political system is fracturing. I mean, that's fine that it's fracturing, but we used to be a single party. Now we've just kind of splintered into multiple parties. I miss the days when everything was unified under a single voice, and now none of it is under a single voice. Alright, I was debating on changing things out there, but we'll just continue. In fact, I'll just drop taxes and we'll run a temporary deficit, just to allow the women's rights to continue. Not to a great speed, just a slight increase. Pressing issues. Oh, we can kind of choose who we want to give the bonuses to. I mean, right now the Whig Party is very powerful. Let's give the Progressive Party something, just because they're running on negatives. South German from the German Empire. Oh, how wonderful. How wonderful. The good old days. Won't someone think of the children? No. Down with the reactionaries. Please. They're going to cause so many problems if they're allowed to get in power. You see, Georgia's got room for a lot of trade potential, it says, but can it actually trade? That's the question. Oh, it absolutely could. We could probably grow it another 20 with what it has there. Yeah, so Georgia could absolutely. I also just realized I don't think I ever put ports up for... Okay, some of them are not up for privatization. We do need to change that. Same with the railways. Well, actually, no, we don't really need to do the railways. Really don't care if we do. But yeah, the ports were never put up for... Some of the ports were never put up for privatization, apparently. So we've just been kind of sitting around with that in our pocket. Ooh, there's a lot of gold in the world. I don't care if it hurts any infrastructure. I'm just gonna go out and build up all that gold so we can profit off of it. Because why wouldn't I? I do need to watch the threat of revolution, though. Here's hoping the lowered taxes prevents that. Apparently Florida's on fire. Is that because it has a lot of unemployed? No, it just hates us. Okay, well, thanks, Florida. Yeah, there we go. The Progressive Party should be able to keep the Democratic Party out of power now. Along with the Whig Party, apparently. Oh, it immediately started using a good deal of that trade. That's good to see. I don't know if they'll import too much. Oh, they're exporting all that dye, really? I mean, I guess we did start making a lot of dye. That's true. I just didn't think it'd be such a big export. Oh, I shouldn't build it up. There's like no peasants here now. Which is good. The fact there's no peasants there is great. It means that we're getting a really good result out of our investment there. How is the Panama Canal Company doing? It hasn't expanded its business, but it is going to get fully profitable because its ports are now fully oh, I see. They were on cargo port and I didn't notice. That's why. So now they're producing more merchant marines. Very good. Very good. And once it's fully incorporated, it is a fully incorporated state. In fact, that might be another reason why it's doing better, is because it's incorporated now. And so it's easier for it to be profitable. I couldn't help but notice our president retired and someone else is in power now because the industrialists are in charge. Yeah, I couldn't help but notice we have a random ethno-nationalist sitting around. We're gonna just kind of ignore him and pretend he doesn't exist. But it appears to have, Ruler having the wrong religion, Jesus. Okay, well, apparently we're sticking to legal guardianship. Because, man, they're threatening to have a civil war regardless at this rate. I might have to throw them a bone and give them total separation, but then others will just... Why is the religious group giving me the most pressure now? I know it's because of the bug where they're getting plus 50% activism from a source that they shouldn't be getting it from. because the average standard of living for Protestants should be really good. It's literally our state religion. It shouldn't be so low compared to others that it's causing a nightmare scenario. And yet, here we are. In that very scenario. Let's expand Ohio. I think Ohio's been neglected long enough. We'll get a bunch of coal set up there and see if we can export it. And in fact, on high taxes, we seem to be doing okay since our private investment pool can do some investments and it's actually investing. So we will expand further. Because wouldn't you know it? Our trade routes have only grown. We're importing over 4,000 steel. I get the feeling more exports of steel are happening because we're buying more steel, which pushed the price back up on the world market. And yeah, let's just say it looks like Britain is really exporting steel now. Oh god, they are. They're actually 30% dependent on steel exports now, which is what's allowing steel to be profitable in their country despite how much of it they've built. Which means we are kind of feeding into this company that has steel. Isn't this a special company? What is its prestige good? Oh, it makes special steel. Oh, we're gonna have fun when that's online. Oh, we're gonna have so much fun when that's online. The dogs hear me laughing and they came over to make sure I'm fine. And I am fine. But I want to see, how is the British obsession with fish going? It's still there, but they're at 22% groceries now. We haven't caused... It's just because they're unemployed, right? Like, the peasantry aren't having a starvation issue because of... I'm sure everything's fine. There's no, Uh-oh. They're trying to buy groceries over grain out of obsession, and on top of opium, I think we might be causing an issue in Qing. Also, it's being invaded again. Oh, because they're trying to protect a place. Fair enough. Are they having any starvation issues? And I know this is slowing our game down, but I'm too curious. I need to switch over like this. It's only 4% of the country. That's not bad. Ignore the fact it's 17 million people, but, you know. What could go wrong? Oh. Any interesting agitators? There is a communist. Wait. From France? If we're really interested in that whole communism thing, boy, do I have something for you. We really can't do much except maybe liberalize our voting laws more, but I want to keep that 50 authority, so I just haven't. I haven't done that at all. Connecticut probably doesn't need anyone else here at this point. It's had a plenty good amount of folks kind of come in. Yep, that's just gonna be a while. Wait, did it expand or is that just me? That's just me. Okay. Carry on. I don't know what I'm saying. It's not completely full, but I noticed it's just exporting a lot of dye and a lot of fabric, which is fantastic. But wow, is that a lot. Apparently, we could still potentially export fabric if given the opportunity. It just isn't happening in some states, I suppose. Oh, we've made fabric so cheap. I'm willing to bet the company here is suffering a bit on its productivity chart, which doesn't surprise me, but it's still making a profit. We just kind of destroyed the price of fabric. We could give them a monopoly on it to raise it back up and flood the markets more. I'm tempted to do that, actually. It would raise the price, but it would also cause them to buy it all up. You know what? Out of morbid curiosity, I'm going to do it. Out of morbid curiosity. Even though I really shouldn't, I'm gonna do it. And they apparently own 55% of the sell orders in the whole market because that immediately bumped the price back up. In theory, they should start buying a bunch of the cotton plantations as well because it's a lot cheaper to buy them. That's another thing that happens when you give them a monopoly. It becomes cheaper for them to buy buildings of that building because it doesn't cost as much. And I do see they're already kind of growing. Not quickly, and I'm going to let another tick happen here. Because there's probably a lot of things all buying and privatizing and whatnot and so forth. And our reinvestment pool is probably not as off the ground as it could be, I feel like. But I say that, and I have to remember, yeah, it's because we're under industry banned. Usually we're under something different, which would probably have a different effect. But that's okay. Also, the industrialists are unhappy, which could be another reason. But I like to think it's something else. It just has to be something else, right? It couldn't possibly be because of something we did. There's no way we'd make that kind of mistake. Oh, and East Anglia owns 17 now. Owns 9 of the ones in the lowlands because the home company owns the other 2. I love that. I guess the only downside is that it means it's going to be creating the workforce in a foreign nation instead of yours for the prosperity. But those people are buying groceries, so who cares? I'm still making a profit off of it in a different way. How much of this is pop demand? A decent chunk of it, but so is our paper export. So just build more. In fact, how are we at the furniture business? As I was gonna say, it looks like furniture is actually extremely profitable, and we just haven't really invested in it that much. So we're just gonna invest into a lot of that right now. And that will probably help everything just kind of accelerate here. And then we're gonna go check on Mexico and see if they're ready for unification. Not annexation, unification. They're not quite there yet. They're they're thinking on it. Give them some time. Actually, we could. Yeah, I forgot we could exempt them from service and reduce their payments. That would help it go faster, wouldn't it? Yeah. Ah, Venezuela asked to join. Absolutely. I forgot we were doing that. Ecuador, nice to have you. And then, of course, we need to renegotiate the treaty, which no longer can benefit from trade privileges. There we go. Okay, that's why it wasn't working when I was trying to change it, because we could no longer do trade privileges since we were in the same market, but it was trying to trigger it anyway, and it just got stuck in a loop. So that's good to know. Now we know why that was happening, and we were able to fix it. Oh, they definitely bought up more, that's for sure. They were at 280 when we saw them, 292. And how much of it do they own now? 64% from 55. So yeah, they are just buying up more of them now, which will actually bring the price down a bit. Ooh. Ooh, I really shouldn't increase the traded quantity. So traded quantity, again, is just how much they're trading per level. So switching these over is going to cause the trade centers to kind of go nuts in a bad way at first. Because that 756 in steel is probably about to spike. Yep, it's now 1K, but since that just radically altered the prices, you're actually going to see a lot of these shrink now, because now they're not profitable. Because now it's trying to throw way more out there than it actually should be, including way more gourmet groceries than it has any right to do. So you will see the economy kind of fluctuate a bit here. It just jumped. We just jumped up to 190 million temporarily before it started coming back down. If that gives you any idea of how much of a wild swing we just experienced. I also love this, how the American market, the sell and buy orders of groceries are very close together, but because of the monopoly, the price is radically increased. And so it's actually somewhat expensive. You can also see our subvention spiked super hard too, because we're paying the trade centers right now. But they will adjust to where things are profitable again. And in fact, New York is still importing 1,000 steel. What happened there? I think the simplest explanation is the most obvious one. Demand for steel went up, so they started exporting more steel. And in fact, Sheffield steel is now being exported. I can't wait to butcher more words. So what's great about this is that it will increase the throughput of any buildings that use them. we do have a few buildings that use that, including our construction sectors, as well as, well, the things that use steel, like tooling workshops. It's not a huge boost, but it helps. Funnily enough, it's going to help our urban centers slightly too. Not by too much, because I think they're just going to sit and suffer in silence. But it is going to help them. And I think we now have a better potential for our trade routes, just because the larger quantity that they can move per level is going to let them get more money out of trade. Okay, so I see we can either take the penalty. What is the penalty? Times 2, education brings it down, because I kind of want to go get another company. Even I know the Panama Canal, once it's prosperous, hopefully prosperous. I see it's shifted a bit here. Did you buy assets somewhere? You did. Oh, it will be prosperous still. Okay. It looked different on this because it looked like it wasn't, and I was looking at the bar instead of the tooltip. I just would like to get another company. The United Plantations Company we could get soon, but we could also grab Standard Oil, which would make the railroads insane. And I would really love to do that. There's a lot of companies here we actually can't get because they're in different locations. It just looks like we could. There's the Carnegie Steel Company, which would be funny because we can't build any steel mills, and we can't get it as a result. We could, if we decide to annex Argentina, I hear meat's very lovely. But this is what I want, the United Fruit Company. I want to grab it at some point for the plantation's throughput. But I also would love to see bananas actually make fruit crazy. I know we've gone insane on the groceries, and it would probably be hard to introduce something else, but fruit is a luxury good, and this is only the basic food need. Although groceries can be used for luxuries too, so it's really hard to judge that. Hahaha. Oh, I think the pop starving situation in Qing got worse. Nah, nope, it's fine. I mean, they don't have enough groceries, but it's fine. I don't know. We do own a fair number of government buildings still, about 1,300, because we never did quite sell it all. We could sell a fair number of our buildings, but considering they're literally emptying the investment pool every week, I don't think anything's going to change, whether we privatize them or not. So let's grab identification documents real fast, because it's quick, and then we'll go grab corporate governance and probably just rush macroeconomics down. Maybe. We'll see. I'm actually going to hold my tongue there. Calvert died. Oh no. Anyway, I do see engines suddenly spiked upwards. I assume that's because trade just had yet another fluctuation. We'll just kind of hope that it's something that will work itself out. How are we on iron? I can't check in this building. Because I know we export a fair number of it. We also use a fair number of it in construction sectors, apparently. Wait, we use it in our construction sectors. Oh, right. Giant market. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's less of a we use it and more of just it's kind of used in general in the market. I do see we're still spending a lot. Is that because of subventions? Yeah, subventions and subsidies, but that seems to just be the trade centers having a problem still. Although subventions might have spiked. They did spike, but then they came back down, actually, so it could just be the fact we're just building more. Because keep in mind, we built up a lot more construction, and our investment pool is busy privatizing. They occasionally go to expand, but they're primarily focused on privatization. Which is why we may have to consider raising taxes again. And that will allow us to ignore trade advantage penalty if we lack an interest somewhere. So that is going to be our power block kind of done, unless we switch things out. I think we can deficit spend for a while and just hope that the investment pool switches it up later. Probably won't, but we can hope. We also need... God, our population is definitely growing fast. We already need more taxation. I know it's already only a couple more million in just a few years, but that's kind of quick. Frenchmen, well, yep, we're gonna need more soon. The French are indeed coming. In fact, there's a lot of French people. I know it's because they annexed that state in India is really why. This is just broken for life. Yeah, oh well. Well, at least our economic graph isn't broken. Oh, Germany's about to reach 100 million. That's cool. Speaking of which, where are we on relations? I know it says 4. I guess I'll wait for it to drop to neutral, and then we'll see if we can get the Germans to agree to new trade agreements and investments. Specifically investments that benefit us. Primarily and solely us, ideally. I actually want to build up the sugar in Texas. I know we import a lot of sugar, and honestly, that does help a fair bit, but we have a lot of sugar plantations as well. And Texas just strikes me as a place to build lots of sugar. So I think we'll just build that up a bit. There's a lot of peasants here. I guess we'll build up the cotton plantations a bit. Which I know is going to bring cotton prices back down, but cotton prices have been going up and down very often. So I think it'll be okay. Rubber, yay! I like how the company profit is very small, and yet it's going to be prosperous because its productivity is through the roof. It's just so funny to me. Not as funny as the famine we caused earlier, apparently, though, with how hard I laughed at it. Well, it's not trading as much as I thought it would, but it is exporting coal, which I did expect. So that works out. I can actually just expand furniture more, and then, for the sake of giving people jobs, just build up a bunch of wood. That'll get a lot of people employed, no problem, and give us a minute without messing with construction. Financial districts definitely picked up. Oh, company profits, man. Oh, yeah, so company profits does include, and I saw it spike there, it does include all of the regional HQs, so we can kind of just go there to see it all. That's awesome. Oh, that's really cool. I love that. It's 111 levels now, Jesus. I love it, but damn. Kind of came down at one point. I guess that's just fluctuation. Really could use that better grain production next, huh? I think that's what we'll do. We'll get identification documents, and then we'll start grabbing some of the techs over here that we need from the third era of production. It takes a while, but we could use the improved fertilizers and better infrastructure. Oh, the Ottomans are trying to take parts of Egypt. Really, that doesn't matter to us. They both hate us, so we're not going to get involved. But it's interesting to see. I do see the Lee Wilson and company's profitabilities have kind of dropped since. Which kind of sucks for them, but that's because fabric became stupidly cheap. And we're actually exporting 17k fabric now. Probably because I'm paying them to literally export the fabric. Our subventions are so high. I feel a little worried about it. But it's just so funny to watch. The fact we export so much fabric to the world and make it cheap is just great. Man, they're just upset, aren't they? Like, they have no reason to be happy. Oh, right, low legitimacy would do that. We had low legitimacy. It's contested now because more people became ethno-nationalists, which is weird. I don't think it goes full civil war, but if it does, we will find a way to deal with it when the time comes. Actually, wait, what am I saying? I can just suppress it to where it's, no longer, yeah, to where it's marginal. We can just suppress it. That's a much better use of our time than bowing down to it. That feels like a quote. Belgium is burning. Yay! There goes some of our trade. Oh well. And since we've managed to hold this, do you want to make it go longer and give me investment rights? Yes, you do, Germany. Yes, you do. More gold's been depleted. So that means there's more gold to mine. Annexing Mexico could have some unforeseen consequences, but We'll see how it goes. In fact, I do see annexing them is still going to cost me like 68 infamy, and they might even not agree at the end. Oh, well, we'll have to see. You will have to see. Apparently, I never upgraded our army at one point. At least some of it wasn't upgraded. Alright. Speaking of which, just because we really should make sure we're safe, let's expand the standing army some more. While conscripts are kind of our key, there's going to be situations where we don't want to raise the entire army, where we only want to raise a portion of it. And that'll kind of help the armed forces too, although they don't like me at the moment. And again, who does? And there we go. The Panama Canal Company is now prosperous, and it's giving another 50k. Which is definitely going to help our income a little. Subventions are still an issue. Subsidies are bouncing wildly because of trade centers. I was kind of hoping we could get the United Plantation Company now, but it appears we're not quite there yet. We still have, not counting this company slot that we can use, we have 2 more we can unlock, so we've still got potential with it. We can't fully use oil, but I think there's significant demand on the world market for it. We noticed that earlier. Although it's mainly Qing importing it. Not even Britain's really using it right now, and we're the sole exporter of it. It's still worth considering. It's just harder to get it sold. We could also just delve into some kind of urban production, like furniture. I mean, stylish furniture would have an effect. It would make them buy furniture over glass and paper. So it's not a bad idea by any means. The mines would be a decent idea too, although their buffs would just be funny because we can't build either of the buildings that they buff. So, while hilarious, it would be an entirely wasteful prospect. And select fish would be funny, but it would kind of mess up the style we have going with the groceries. So with the fruit, banana stuff, but that's for a more funny thing. Plus, there's an achievement for it, so that's what I'm going to use as an excuse. 15% agricultural throughput in Ontario. Wow, Ontario. Man, I kind of want to annex Canada now, which suddenly formed out of nowhere. For me, it formed out of nowhere. I only now noticed it while talking about it. Yeah, shoot. Let time tick through here a bit while I think. I guess we could just get standard oil set up then. I do want an oil company at some point anyway, and it looks like we can at least sell the oil, so it's not a bad idea. And I actually might stop using subventions for our groceries. Now that we've got a foothold in Britain and Qing, I don't really need subventions on them. So we could actually save 11k there. That will probably cause exports to drop. At least a little bit. It won't fully can them, but it will probably cause them to drop a bit, and they'll focus on other things. Oh, Qing has a company. It's the Glassworks Company. I think this makes special porcelain, doesn't it? It can, yes. It's just not letting me zoom up for some reason, but it makes Canton porcelain. Ah, how convenient and familiar. Oh, they actually kind of have enough now. That's cool, because they're importing a bunch. This militancy might just keep growing because of the growing number of radicals, which is a problem. But we don't have... Actually, that's weird. We're getting ticks of low legitimacy while being at 61 legitimacy. Because I just saw that grow. That's weird. Contested shouldn't cause that issue. Let me save and reload really quick. We're definitely getting a weird bug there. But hey, it wouldn't be the first week of new patch if it didn't have bugs. Now, I wish it didn't have bugs. But that's like wishing everything is free in the world. That's just not going to happen. There's always going to be some problem somewhere. And you have to wonder, yes, we're seeing these bugs, but how many bugs did they catch before release? And that's something you have to consider too, is there may have been twice as many problematic bugs before release that we will never ever see or even know about. because they never got to release because they were caught and wiped out before they could get to release. Just one of those fun things to consider from time to time. So is that still rising, or is it stopped? Okay, it stopped. The impactful factors from low legitimacy is dropping now, so that's where a good deal of it was coming from. Apparently low standard of living too, but I think that's just certain food industry buildings are being weird and not paying people. That doesn't seem to be the case anymore, though. These people are being paid very well. These are secure laborers. They're buying coffee. I'm sure there's probably one somewhere that's not paying them a good wage. But it looks like the grand... Yeah, okay, the one in New York isn't paying as high, but New York has its own complications. Hey, we just got the achievement for franchising. And I can take a guess at which one got to 20 first. Let's check on Britain's market again, actually. Because now it's 24% are groceries, and there's mild starvation in 15% of the population, mainly in, well, it's probably obvious where. In fact, are they going to expand into Germany at all? That would be funny if they did. They probably could expand into Germany if they haven't already. They already have. Isn't that wonderful? Germany is just a prime market for us. It has a lot of meat demand, though. Do they have a meat company, perhaps? They probably do. No, they have a grain society, which has been given an industry right and trade right. Maize farms. Oh, that's cool. I like how you can see... Oh my god, they give them monopoly rights to everything. So I don't know who owns the iron, who owns the steel, except Krupp. Sorry, that was a good one. Thank you, Germany, for giving that laugh. Oh, that was just good. Oh wow, yeah, 349. They've definitely been buying up all the fabric. Although the monopoly price didn't go up because we built more cotton plantations ourselves, so it kind of went up and then it kind of went down. We're actually exporting tea. That can't be right. I don't remember authorizing the exportation of tea. I don't remember making tea. I did make tea for myself earlier before I started recording, though. That was nice. Yeah, I don't mind building up these two states for tobacco. It is a pretty useful resource. I do mind the extreme amount of money we're paying, though, but here's hoping that works itself out when our companies decide to start building again. Because I noticed whenever they start building a couple buildings, it does easily fix itself. We're just paying in almost $1 million per week on construction. And that's just construction. We could get an authoritarian in charge. He would support the secret police. Problem is that it would break... Oh, that would add another 1 million radicals, though. We already have a radical problem. But a secret police would be nice. Although these have been suppressed to marginal, so they should start kind of fading out soon. Unless... Oh, they do have... I was gonna say, unless they have support from someone, and they do. They're upset with us. So that is true. They could still be an issue. The only difference is that... Yeah, they might actually just drop entirely and disappear. Which, if that happens, we'll be fine. If it doesn't happen, we might be fine? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm gonna see if we can't export more coal, because I noticed our coal price would go down a little and then it would go back up. It's not strictly too profitable in these coal mines. The wages aren't even that good either. But we are able to export it and get something out of it, usually. Whoa, wow, how to tell the food conglomerate's doing great again. It's got almost 300 average annual wage. Are these shopkeepers, like, still going up in standard of living, or is it balanced out for now because they're spending way too much on transportation? But this urban center must be living the life. Yeah, plus 32, my god. That's living the life. this point, I think we could even build a few more food industries right there and be fine. Okay, there we go. The movement ended up disbanding, so it's no longer a threat. We can actually carry on now. Of course, if we do it for the other one, it's going to make the Catholics' rights movement more upset. So let's just try to get women in the workplace. That's going to shift our birth rate by 10%, but also the workforce ratio by 10%. It's feasible, and political agitation is researched, so we can start getting that women's rights movement. Because I forgot we have to give them some rights first before it can appear and fire. Whoops. Although sometimes I overshoot it and just end up making it to where... Are we not privatizing logging camps at all? I thought we were. Maybe there's just some we're not privatizing. Like, it's a mixture. Yep, that's what it is. They should all be privatized. Because we do have that whole Lee Wilson company that can buy them. And it would be pretty nice if they did. Could probably build more trade centers. I keep not doing it because it's telling me that it wouldn't be very good, but there are actually some states that don't have any trade centers at all, including the District of Columbia that I just built some in. So we'll build up trade centers into those states. That way they can do some basic trades. They don't make that much in terms of resources, but they have a lot of logging camp potential, which we can build up to just kind of get it started. And hopefully from there, that will just kind of upward spiral the economy in their respective areas. There we go. So I was going to say now we can make more fertilizer. We can't. We can certainly spike the usage of fertilizer, though, so this is going to hurt. There is going to be a bit of a dip in the farm, so we're going to temporarily give them some money here to help them out. But what should happen is we should start importing more fertilizer over time. We should see an increase in fertilizer exports right after. Yep, fertilizer exports are starting to go up, and we're importing enough fertilizer to make it stable. Someone should... I love that. Someone should convince them to stop. It's going to take a bit before they're profitable again, because it needs fertilizer prices to really come down, but that's going to be dependent on exports of said fertilizer. Well, that's at least brought grain prices down, and while that might slightly reduce the demand for groceries, its main thing is it's just going to bring that price down and hopefully improve the productivity of these states after fertilizer prices come down a bit. But I don't know if they'll come down enough. They might stay up too much. And these trade centers are having an issue with profitability, I noticed. Probably because it's very expensive on the world market, too. And because of that, they can't quite get a good price in because the price of fertilizer is just really high every way. Oh, he's been replaced with the market liberal. He'll definitely not be happy. Who's in charge now? Oh, good. Someone from the trade union. That'll go well. I'm certain that's going to go well. I love how we're importing almost 6,000 steel now. And fertilizer is kind of a mixed bag. It's from a couple areas. In fact, I know the French are wary, but could we get a investment rights in France? We could. Yes. More great powers to invest into, so my investment pool won't ever invest in the country again. I'm just making it harder on myself, aren't I? We could just build a couple tools everywhere. Texas has no one here at the moment, but it'll get more people if we build it up. Now, the good news is the reinvestment pool has been steadily growing year after year. It's just not really investing in our country. It is kind of doing it, and then it kind of doesn't do it. It's kind of going back and forth. Which is still fine. I'm just noticing the difference. I think we do have an issue, again, of peasants being satisfied with their jobs. Which I dislike, because then it means they don't try to get jobs elsewhere. We have a lot of peasants out here, actually. I could really use a bit of a switch, so to speak. Ooh, repeating rifles. That could be fun. It could also destroy the arms industry. I choose to believe it'll be fun. It'll at least change the jobs over where there's less laborers and add engineers. And despite the expensive levels of steel, it looks like it is a net profit. Well, at least it's still profitable, I should say. We definitely export a lot of guns, that's for sure. I still never decided on that company. I guess we did mention Standard Oil, but can we annex Mexico without a civil war? I want to see if I can avoid the war, just to avoid anyone stepping in and messing things up, but we might have to war for it. Anyway, let's get Standard Oil. What did they buy? Because they didn't buy these oil rigs. They bought the 5 railways in New York. Okay, sure, why not? It's not my place to decide what you buy for your company, I guess. What can they be expanded? They can be expanded to ports. That's funny. I'd rather give them a monopoly right on oil rigs so they buy them all up very cheaply. I know that means the price of oil will go up, but the price of oil going up doesn't sound like a bad idea in the slightest. What could go wrong from that? Oh! I guess they could buy railways in foreign countries. Yeah, that also works. We can work with that. We can definitely work with that. Is there even a point in making more wine? Probably not. Can we export wine? No, but pop consumption of wine is a lot higher than I expected it to be. You know what? Out of additional curiosity, let's get the vineyard some automatic irrigation and just see if the demand for wine goes up or not. But Ohio is going to start making tobacco. Because again, I think it would just be the funniest thing. I also think Standard Oil won't buy up that many railways in the long run. I think they're just prioritizing the ones that are very profitable, but one of the ones they just bought is pretty bad, actually. I don't know why they bought that one. I really couldn't explain that one to you. Ah, there we go. Now they're buying up oil rigs. Not many oil rigs, and oil is having a profitability issue, but they are buying it up. I'm sure we'll find a use for oil later. We'll probably find a use for oil. Did you see the British economy is accelerating in its growth, which is nice, and I have forgotten to build for a week again. I wish my private investment pool was more active, he says, fully knowing all of that's being invested in foreign countries. So who's really getting all the profit from this? Because I don't think it's me. Alright. Now this is going to kind of upset railway profits, and we're actually going to need steel. But I think it'll be fine. I choose to believe in the American economy. The one that banned industry. Oh yeah, we can't build the automobile building because it's +3 infrastructure, so it's considered heavy industry. So we can't build the new building they added. Well, it really isn't a new building. They took the War Machine one and just kind of changed it to automobile industries, which can make tanks. So you can add airplane production too. So yes, it also means I can't make airplanes or tanks. I think that was already a. I think that was already in 1.8, but I've just confirmed it in 1.9. You know, we do have all that rubber in Brazil we could use. It would be really nice to switch over our tooling workshops from wood to rubber. Just for the sake. It does add more steel demand, though, so we do have to consider that. That is a definitely a keep in mind thought. We can do houseware plastics, though. That's a piece of oil that we can utilize. It would completely destroy glass demand by making way too much of it. But it would also be really funny. I guess we could grab that really fast, and then we'll just rush for macroeconomics and get that done by the 1890s. I think it's time to rush for that. And that is going to be a 10% increase to our workforce ratio over time. Still have 2% pop growth despite all of that. I love it. Okay, Let's start boosting relations with Russia, and we'll actually draft a treaty with Russia too. 25 years, 97% chance. The American-Russia treaty, we might be able to get a lot. Well, we can't do the acquisition of Alaska anymore. That kind of passed. The journal entry closed. Pretty sure it closed. Yeah, it closed. Our nation, our culture is active. Oh no. That's the ethno-state journal entry for anyone who doesn't know. And now you know, so have fun with that knowledge. Do with it what you will. Ugh, yeah, I hope they fix this, lag issue we keep getting. It's not terrible, like, it's not destroying my game experience, but it's one of those things where it's kind of inconvenient. You kind of wish it wasn't there, but it's there. I'm sorry, where did the Standard Oil set up again? In New York? You know what? I can't even be mad about that. That's actually really cool. They set up in New York of all places. 61 in Yorkshire? Oof. I set them up for oil rigs and they went to go off and buy railways. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's profitable, but they're even building new railways. Oh, God. Standard Oil has definitely made some interesting decisions. Apparently Alabama can do the export of tobacco. Technically lots of places could, but it's probably because Alabama has tobacco. Let's just expand it by 10 for now. I see a lot of them are just suffering on that weekly balance, and I'm trying to figure it out. I know the trade revenue is not good, and they're relying on subventions here and there. I think it's just the import price is just really high because of the market price being really high. And the only solution to that is for the price to come down, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the price comes down. I think it stays up there where it's at. And that it's something we just have to deal with. Yay, Colt revolvers! The pop consumption of that has grown a bit. Not by a hefty amount. Our grain exports have grown. Whoa. I assume that's all the trade centers over here in places like Nebraska. Yep, that makes sense. And it's importing fertilizer, which, yep, makes sense. Checks out. These are still struggling. They're not really profitable. We're kind of paying for it with subsidies, which is not great. But we're going to stay stuck in our ways. Even when we realize our ways might cause a revolution. Speaking of revolutions, they finally came back and we need to suppress them again. Good news is that we should be able to suppress them before Civil War breaks out. Actually, it's saying Civil War will break out unless we bribe them in some way. Yikes. They're really upset about that whole women's rights thing. But here's hoping that will fix itself at some point. Oh, they're investing in America again. It's about time. Took them long enough, I'd say. I do see trade center activity for oil is increasing, so we might just build a bunch of oil and see where that goes. Probably won't go anywhere for long, but we can at least think we did something right with it. A favored party. Who would that be? The trade union? Nah, let's not send it to Japan. Let Japan just Japan. That made no sense. Oh, they actually owe us an obligation. Cool. Oh, they own 10 here now. That's neat. Price even came down a little. Apparently they're getting enough. That's probably because the average standard of living in Qing is just awful. So people just can't demand goods. Are they slowly pushing towards revolution now? Ah, the liberal and peasant movements are agitating, so not quite, but it's technically possible that they are. They're angry now, that makes sense. I can see why they're angry. Doesn't mean I agree with it. I'd pass censorship if I could. It would make other people upset, though, so... You'd just be kind of taking yourself out of the fire. Or out of the frying pan and into the fire, so to speak. So, while it would be funny, it wouldn't really work. And I'm just, again, amazed by how much construction we have going on, and it's just finishing, and we can't use coal because we can't use a lot of our automation production methods, since we're under industry ban. There are some we can still use, I'm just choosing not to use them. That doesn't mean it's the right call, it's just the choice I've made is to not use them. Oh shoot, is Belgium still having... No, it looks like its civil war just ended. It may have just ended. We're importing 7k steel. And it looks like mainly Germany? Did the German, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong market here. Did German steel production skyrocket? Oh my god, they make 10k now? I think it did skyrocket. But they don't make special steel like Britain does, which apparently is making 14k. I'm starting to think we can import more steel. Do they just have tariffs on steel, perhaps? They must have tariffs on steel. That's the only reason why I can think why it wouldn't be exporting more, or their trade centers are just at capacity and can't properly trade more. No, the global price of steel has actually come down to the 30s. Okay, so it's just, we need to use steel, so we should just build things that use steel. I got it. I understand. I don't understand, but we're gonna do it. Let's see. What should we build then? I mean, could make more guns. Those seem to be popular, huh? Huh? More guns? Really, just building in general will slowly push it up as time goes on, I've noticed. Though there's nothing wrong with making more tools whenever we need it. Now we just need to hope the world market can somehow bring down the price of engines next. Alright, I think I know what I want to do. We could technically build... Wait, can I build steel mill? Ah. Interesting. Okay, so apparently I didn't realize this. At some point, Britain suddenly went belligerent. I think it's because they became... Oh, yeah, they almost became a pariah, and apparently they broke the treaty with us. So we ended up losing our access to investment there. I didn't realize we could build elsewhere. Why did they become belligerent? Strategic desire due to increased relations with a rival. And yeah, they got the untrustworthy country modifier because they broke their treaty with us. And pretty much everyone hates Britain at this point, which is very funny. Also means it's probably a good idea to build a second navy, because Britain might be getting the slight idea to come beat our heads open. And if they blockade us, we could die. Like it would be really bad if they did that. So let's just be safe here. I guess I know what we're gonna build. It's called a navy. That's what we'll build next. And hopefully still trade lots. Suddenly, oh, what's this? Jamaica, power block, goods transfer, they'll pay us 1,000. You know what? Sure, just because they had the guts to come to us with a treaty. Just because they had the guts. No other reason other than that. Hi, Germany. I know you've monopolized steel and everything, but is there any way you'd agree to not put a tariff on engines? Not really. I'd have to give them lots of stuff. I mean, what could we give them that they would like? I know there's coal. But I think we have to pay for this stuff, don't we? Yeah, well, we don't even have the influence anyway. That's okay, though. God, they own so much. Standard Oil's just going on the up. Alrighty, there we go. won't say things are back to normal, but I think they're doing a little bit better. And the number of involved workers will just gradually grow as time goes on. Yeah, all things considered, unless Britain decides to come cave our skull in, we're doing pretty well. But that's why we decided to suddenly balloon the size of our navy. Pretty much doubling it in size, actually. Because we saw the writing on the wall, realized what was about to happen, and decided to pre-invest into a solution that would prevent it. I do find amusement in the fact that we could invest... Wait. We could invest in foreign countries. We could build new motor industries. That's weird. I feel like that's not entirely in the spirit of things when it comes to all of this. But I find the idea just so funny that we could do that. I find it so funny that we could. Just so they then have more to sell onto the world market, because like half of them are being, yeah. Let's do some in Germany, just again because it's funny and I want to see what happens. It's kind of obvious what will happen, but that's not going to stop me. It probably should, but it's not going to. This does mean that Britain would probably intervene if we invaded Mexico, though, which is a little painful. But there isn't much we can do about it. Ooh, Polish from Russia. And they are damaging relations, so they are kind of planning to probably do war with us at some point. I say that as they go to beat up France. Oh, they're verge of being a pariah, though. Lots of people hate them. It's a shame they became belligerent, but what can you do? Britain got a somewhat strong economy and suddenly got a big brain of ideas of what they could do with it, and yeah. That's just something we're gonna have to deal with now. Ooh, humanitarian, how nice. So, we're probably gonna go ahead and expand the army a little more, just to be safe. Just kind of expand some of them here. Get them additional generals. That way, if worst case scenario does transpire, we're not left wanting for an army. And again, we have conscripts, so we can pull conscripts up, but they take time to train. The standing army gives us the benefit of the army already existing before we even have to fight. Oh, whoa, hang on. Forgot we had an agitator there. I just went to click the first slot I saw. Don't want traditionalists. Radicals would kind of work, but that backfired on us last time, so I think we'll just leave it alone. Standard Oil bought more oil. 13 oil rigs in California. Germany's importing it now, but apparently we just have a lot of pop consumption, which is cool. In fact, oil is... Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We're on just the goods category of one thing. Oh... It's just so fun to go through this menu and look at all of, like, our imports and exports. I love it. Very much love it. I'm glad they added that menu. Especially now that I understand how it actually works and I'm not sitting here being an idiot. You know, we could very much import silk even though we can't make any of it. It is something we could mass import to make our own luxury clothes. So we aren't as reliant on imports for it. On the other hand, there are plenty of markets now that could just keep exporting to us. So, it's hard to say what's better. Although here's hoping Britain will get over it, but I've been noticing their attitude score has just been getting worse. Yeah, they want to conquer the US itself. Standard Oil is also now prosperous, so railways are going to operate more efficiently. And by more efficiently, I mean transportation's going to get cheaper and things are going to go in the gutter, but it's fine. In fact, we built those new buildings here. Built some of those new buildings here. And the trade centers already started exporting more. Wait, can I build trade centers abroad? If they're not monopolized, we can. But they've been monopolized in a lot of countries, apparently. So, there's that. So we could build up the trade centers in Qing to make them import more goods. Do they have that potential? Oh, they have. You know what? This is so stupid that it just might work. It is very stupid, but I think it could work. Because it says Qing has a massive potential to import lots of goods because of their constant needs. They also could export things too, and this might open up Qing to the market at a wider level. It could also completely collapse, but keep in mind, their people are paid really low wages compared to ours. And this trade center is at full capacity in Western Guangdong, so who knows? It could be very exciting. We'll have to see. I do think initially it's going to struggle because it does depend on the trades it gets first. They could end up being really unprofitable and just be really bad. It also depends on if they have the people to hire, but again, that's just something we can't do much about. But we're going to just let it build up and we'll come back to Qing later. They're at 111 million GDP. I don't expect it to affect their GDP that much, but it's always good to have records. That way we know at a later date. Oh, I see. We made Russia neutral towards us, and they got very upset with that. Oh, we can try to re-improve relations just so, yeah, it doesn't drop further. That doesn't fix the situation at all, it just stops it from collapsing. It does seem like some of them are being pretty profitable, but now they need merchant marines, which we could help with. Merchant marine supports. They actually have some pretty good merchant marines already. Not merchant marine supports already. But do they have any special areas? Eastern Guangdong, yeah. That apparently benefits ports a fair margin. But of course, this is a Qing that is on traditionalism and serfdom still. So they just suck in general. I wonder. I sincerely doubt that this is going to do anything, but can we ask them to get to agrarianism? Maybe. It looks like technically yes and no. We asked them to pass homesteading, yeah. I want them to catch on fire. Let's just see. Let's just see if that pushes them to do it. No, they just said no immediately. Or is that because we have the treaty port on the list and that doesn't work? It could be because we have a variety of things in here that don't work as well. It could just be that. It could be a variety of things. Who knows? Oh, leverage on Japan has grown. In fact, let's check the treaty we have with them. I don't think we could do anything else to really push it further. We have 6 different companies to ask of with, though, which is funny. I just realized we could build food industries in Japan, too. That way their pops get obsessed with it. Although they seem to just be having a growth issue because people are unhappy. They have quite the demand for meat. Is that coincidental, or do they have a company? Ah, Japanese fabrics. That is not coincidental, then. Fair enough. Fair enough. And I am seeing that some of their trade centers are actually profitable and did reach 200 out of 200 trade capacity. And we know this was just built because it has no cash reserves. And look at all those imports. A lot of that being stuff that we export, which is nice. But they are also exporting certain goods. They're putting more tea, sugar, technically fabric, which we don't like, silk. They are putting some more stuff on the market, but they're more of an import economy from what we're seeing. And then some of these were built a little sooner, so they're not operating as well. But they still do imports. Fish, oil, iron. I think building that up was a decent call. I don't know how good it's going to be, but it seems to be working in our favor for the time being. At the very least, they are importing various goods that we put on the market. So, could be better, could be way worse. Actually, I kind of want to build up Western Guangdong a bit more now, just because it's funny. Although Western Guangdong's trade capacity seems to have collapsed now, presumably because other parts of their country are now doing it. You know what? I want to introduce Japan to the glory that is food industries. And then that's something we could do too. We could actually build it up in Germany here, just so the food conglomerate that's expanded there has more to buy up. It would be really weird for us to do, I feel like, but it's not a terrible idea either, except for the fact that the demand is only at +4, so it's worth considering. What about France? Apparently it would do better in our own country, which I can understand why. When it's completely owned, it is just sickeningly profitable. I love it. Apparently got a lot of unemployed, it does. So we'll just build it up a little bit here. And that should help resolve the issue. Women's suffrage? Sure, we'll see what we can do. It's not like we have multiple religious groups that are vying to absolutely nuke us if we dare. So yeah, we could do it. I don't see why not. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Oh, building ports in New Jersey. How fancy. Alright, Mexico, I think it's about time. They're still not going to accept, but Britain no longer looks like they're going to get involved because they're at war. Yeah, I think we just go for it. I think even though it's going to be a lot of infamy, it's going to make people angry with us. Austrian attitude improved, previously antagonistic. How funny. It does say Spain might actually join. Well, that makes sense. Spain is antagonistic with us, so it would actually make sense if they joined. I just hope this doesn't destroy our power block leverage too much. It could destroy our power block a bit because of the lack of leverage, which would really suck if so. Also, we can't really renegotiate treaties because of our very high infamy. Well, that's just something we're gonna have to deal with. Oh, that's why they perceived their ability to defeat us in a war. Mexico actually has a sizable standing army. Oh, that's like their entire army right there, though. Okay. I haven't even deployed our full army yet. I know what I can do, though, is that I can start blockading them. And we also have a second navy that can do convoy raids. So any of the armies sent over by Spain can just be looted with ships. Lots and lots of ships. It says the productivity in Qing wouldn't be as good, but I'm going to build some anyway. Some of those food industries. You know, this is also kind of why I really should have remembered to activate our field hospitals ahead of time. Oh, we hadn't gone to war in so long, I kind of forgot about them. You know, you don't have any conscripts to raise. Let's give you another 70, why not? Because if we can raise even more conscripts, I can bankrupt the economy even faster. Not to win the war, no, no. Our plan is to just bankrupt the economy even faster, because why not? Britain's still belligerent, so let's try to repair our relations with others, because we did kind of make France antagonistic, and they broke off a treaty with us, which is not great. But it happens. Socialist Party of America now formed, so we need to kind of readjust positions. But our goal is to simply annex Mexico, nothing else matters. And the infamy spike does kind of suck, but we'll deal with it. As long as it doesn't nuke trade, we'll be fine. Now, if everyone starts embargoing us, it will nuke trade, and that will be a problem. But I see a lot of our treaties are still very much in effect, which is good, including with Russia and Germany. Losing some of those other ones, especially the one with Britain, is unfortunate, but Britain kind of started that one, so Oh, goody. You have the hand crank machine gun. Oh, this really is a popularity contest. 4 people to pick from. Mexico should be its own market right now, right? Yeah, it is. Might hurt some of our exports, but I think it'll be fine overall. We're spending a tremendous amount on military goods, but this is very unsurprising. I'm just glad we're able to import all the ammunition we need for the war, which I assume will have impacted our trade centers significantly. We're importing it from Germany. How much are we importing? Not enough to show on the list on its own, but apparently 1.6k with 400 cannon. 8,000 steel. Nice. How are the farms doing? I assume they're still doing pretty poorly. Very poorly. We're still paying subsidies for them. We might stop. Well, the fertilizer prices have come down to plus 25%, so while they are doing poorly, they are no longer terrible, which is a step in the right direction, if you ask me. Oh, I love how the armies are just pushing straight towards Mexico. As I told those two, I let the others do whatever. Oh, wow. This is another thing where you get to just choose whatever party gets a bonus. That's really cool that you get to choose this stuff. I really like that. I love how we've also gone from a single-party state to 4 different parties. We just kind of fractured over time as we industrialized and developed. Honestly, it's fascinating. It's really fascinating what's taken place here. Alright, and now we have 3 years till macroeconomics. I had to think of another company already. So Ulysses won, and he's taking 5% of our revenue, because of course he is. We can try to import steel. It probably won't go anywhere, but we'll try. Oh, you know, I just realized we could increase our steel subventions from low to high. But I think we're paying a lot for subventions already for steel. Yeah, 50k and 60k for engines. Which entices them to always import it, but also causes them to just really prioritize that over everything else. How much would it cost to increase? It doubles the cost, so unless someone wants to raise taxes, that's not happening. We are going to have to incorporate all this when we're done. Which is scary to think about, but we can do it. We're just going to have to build up a lot of government administration. This is what all that paper expansion was for. Our standard of living's over 17 as well, so we're kind of getting there, but we've still got a long way to go. So I'm just kind of waiting for the war to tap out here while I let everything else play in the background. Some of our people are upset with us too. To that I say, oh well. Oh well. Women's suffrage will pass soon, which is going to spike our gainfully employed even harder. Alright, Spain tapped out and Mexico's just ready to give up. Which is good, because the Rio Grande's reached 28 devastation, and it's going to take a while for that to calm down. Because it's going down by 0.02. I thought it was 0.03. I must have misread that. And we're just going to set this up for immediate integration. As well as just switching production methods. There we are. Now it's the larger United States. I also see our authority has dropped. Oh, why? Oh! Right, they had companies. We just took their companies, and they have a bunch of charters. Cool. Apparently they've been making coffee. That's been the thing. And tea? This is a weird company. Not that I mind it. How much would it cost to disband? Oh. None. Cool, is that because we just got them, maybe? Well, I guess we don't pay them, they just get upset. It might also be because we're over our limit. These are cool, but we're not gonna keep them. We're just gonna get rid of them because we want that United Fruit Company, but I don't think we meet the requirements yet because we need to probably have it incorporated, and that's gonna take a few years. Let's see. No, it just needs to have 5 banana plantations. So are there really not 5 banana plantations in Mexico? I refuse to believe that. I mean, maybe there aren't. Maybe it just was never built up because we choked it out. No, oh no, don't tell me it's bugged. Don't tell me it's bugged because we have 5 right here. Let me just buy up these 6 right here. Maybe I need to let a week tick as well, because I was planning to get this company if we could. Oh, I don't see it here now. It's not on the list. Maybe it moved. Let's check. No, I don't see it. Uh-oh. Requires 5 building levels of any combination in a single state that are privately owned or nationally owned. Currently 0, but I own... Does it have to be incorporated states? Maybe it has to be... Let's wait for the state to get incorporated in 1890. Hopefully it's just a situation where they have to be incorporated states and it's not telling us. Because the alternative is that we can't do it, and that's going to really suck. Hungarian mass migration to Arkansas. Neat. Anywhere have infrastructure issues? Yes. A couple of areas, actually. Wow. And then let's make sure, because we did annex Mexico. Okay, they're all... Okay, I wasn't sure if we were already paying for the new buildings or not that we had gotten from Mexico for railways and stuff. The good news is that it looks like we already were. So unless something goes horribly wrong, that'll be fine. We've got railways set up in the areas we just started building in, so it'll also be fine. Probably building up way more bureaucracy than we need, but I think that's okay. I think that's okay. Hey, Lee Wilson's gotten back up to 14, so it's getting there. We also, even though we disbanded the company, we could build up a lot of coffee plantations. Why does the local work... Oh, right, the company used to own it, and then we ripped the company apart, so now it's just kind of doing whatever. That makes sense. If we really wanted to, we could mass build coffee plantations now. And honestly, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. Because I'm willing to bet we do need lots of coffee. We're probably importing coffee, aren't we? We're not, but it's plus 20 in the market. So you can't go wrong with upgrading it. We actually have opium too, which I will do just because we already own it. I might as well. We have it. We may as well use it. Especially because the only alternative here is just livestock and grain, so... We had maximum tariffs for import. I will probably still keep a medium, like a high tariff for the imports. guess we don't need to have the tariff for export, though. Yeah, that'll work. And what are they investing in now? They're still privatizing it. 364K reinvestment. It's a shame that France and Britain have both turned on us now. But women will now have the right to vote in the next election, starting in the next election. Technically, they have the right now. They just can't appropriately exercise it under current conditions. Yep, I think we'll just leave the laws at that for the moment. Our leverage is not really shrinking in Brazil that much, which is good to see. Oh, they're in the top 10 economies now. Cool. Very cool. I know our economy just jumped up because we annexed Mexico, so obviously those two kind of just combined together. Oh, that's why Colt's suddenly suffering. It bought a bunch of arms industries in Russia, and then Russia's price for them collapsed, so it started making less money. I'd love to see a small arms obsession appear on a pop just because we have these, but I don't think we're going to get that, which is a little unfortunate, but I think we would have to produce way more of the guns and get way more demand for them from pops. The consumption is still below 1,000. It's just not quite there, if that makes sense. We're definitely paying a lot of debt from subsidies and subventions. I think I might stop doing the farms, so the farms hire a significant number of people, and letting their prosperity drop would also hurt us. It's really hard to decide on that. Higher taxes would help too, but if our investment pool decides to stop buying things and investing in foreign countries, you know, that'll go great too. Not that they will stop. We've really kind of incentivized them to keep going. So we'll see. With any luck, once we start getting tax revenue from the Mexican states here that we took over, it'll go a lot better. Oh yeah, I forgot we gave Jamaica the right to invest in us, so now they're starting to buy up those new coffee plantations we built. Huh. Interesting. Do they actually do get the prestige good. But they haven't finished... Oh, they can't do reserve coffee because Jamaica's too small to be in the top 3. Aww. That's so sad. Oh well. Actually, I see we're suddenly building a lot more coffee plantations. I assume that's because coffee demand in the US is up. Though this assumption could be very inaccurate. What are they fighting over now? Small islands and humiliation. Yeah, that sounds about right for those two. That sounds like the kind of war they tend to fight. Oh yeah, I did just realize the ownership of the financial districts. Nope, that is correct. Okay. Good to see. And the military shipyards will suffer because I think we've been importing... We were importing some ironclads, but now we're just make all the ironclads we need. So we don't need to import them anymore. Ooh, 41. Look at this go. 23 average annual wage, too. My goodness. Was that recent? They're getting paid all right. My god. Let's get you to level 50 then. Get that economy of scale to cap out. How's the trade center here? It's full. That's beautiful. I don't think we could grow it further, but that's just beautiful that it's full and profitable. What about in Qing? Yunnan says it could actually import a lot still. Well, we'll build a size 20 there. It looks like import potential did fall now that they've got a bunch set up, so they're actually importing a lot more. Which would actually explain why their average standard of living did seem to very slightly shift up by 0.1. It's probably because they could import more goods that they needed. And that probably made it a bit easier for them to operate. Well, that and the fact food industries were built in them a bit. That probably helps. Fabric's at minus 35. It's recovering. That would explain why Lee Wilson and company have reached 15. Now, if we could just get engines to be cheaper, that's never going to happen. They will always be expensive. We're going to have to deal with that forever. Oh, disease outbreak. That's fun. That's not fun at all. This tobacco production's going well, even though the profitability margins have shrunk. We could probably double the size of Ohio here, and it'll probably just start exporting all that tobacco. Seems to have a lot of would-be buyers. But it's definitely worth considering, that's for sure. There we go. Just getting our hands into Sicily a little more there. Oh, you know what? We don't have an interest in Italy, do we? Probably take my interest out of Russia. We have one in Poland still. I see meat prices are up. Is that because of food industries? Mainly food industries. So we could probably expand Colorado a bit, right? Colorado and Wyoming could probably make some meat. Which reminds me, I would really like to get mechanized farming so we can get the mechanized slaughterhouse and use that coal. That'd be pretty good. Where are you investing? Oh, wow, they're really investing in Russia, too. That's awesome. I see that they're starting to do a lot more investments now, which I do like. Because that also means I'm not paying out the nose for all that construction. It's actually going to use somewhere else. For now. We'll see how long that lasts. Oh, right, these probably don't really have trade centers, huh? Go ahead and build a couple in each state, that way they have it. I'm really hoping we just have to incorporate it for the company, but if we don't, then that's that. At this point, I may as well assign a different company because we are going to get macroeconomics done before this is over. We could get the plantation, start making pure opium, and completely mess ourselves up. Self-destructive, but it's something we could work with. There's certain companies we can't do because we can't make engines or steel or automobiles, which kind of sucks. Trying to see if there's anything really special in here we might want. There's technically Texas plantations, but we disbanded that recently. There's still the Carnegie Steel Company, which we can't do. Because we can't build steel. Yeah, there's not much. We can't build power plants either, by the way, and I think we can't build electric industries either, so yeah, there's a lot of things we can't do. So we're really limited in our options. We might have to just invest into an urban good. The alternative is the mines, but I feel like the mines, they're not suffering, but since we can't use iron to make steel, a lot of it is exported or used in food industries, and then the ones in steel are kind of in foreign market zones. Not foreign market zones, outside of our country, in other locations. Don't tell anyone about the explosives factory. I don't know how it's still here. I don't know how, but it is here. I guess we could make precision tools. There's nothing wrong with that. It would buff a lot of the workshops we have, and tools are used in a god load of buildings. Especially things like our textile mills right now, so that would help the textile mills. Technically, furniture would help a bit. I don't think it would help our food industries. It would buff logging camps, though. They only use tools, so that's a 20% throughput bonus right there. So it really just comes down to, do I want to... I could influence household items. There's just so many good choices. You can't go wrong. And when it comes to household items, they are buying mainly furniture, actually, which I'm pleasantly surprised about. Also, buying a lot of luxury furniture, which I shouldn't be surprised about it, actually, now that I think about it, because we do make a lot of furniture. In fact, we could switch over to precision tools and make more luxury furniture. We never did do that. Mostly because we weren't certain if we should do that. Since that was going to cripple all the regular furniture that we were making. Ah, nah, we shouldn't. We have porcelain that's being made as well. There's no need. You know what? Let's do it. We'll get stylish furniture. I want to see what happens. I also want to see what that company can get as a part of its expansion. I'm a little curious. Logging camps or lead mines. Those both make sense. We could add logging camps. We could give them a monopoly. That sounds funny. And in fact, I did not check out before, but globally, the Tennessee food conglomerate makes the most money, apparently. Interesting. It's surprising none of them are even higher than that, but I guess we are on industry bans, so we're operating in a bit of a weird sphere. And then everything else is just kind of following along. But yeah, no, it's still good. It's still going strong. Grain prices have even managed to come back up. It's mainly food industries followed by pop consumption and then trade centers. None of that's bad. It's just a lot of stuff. And I love how iron is our second largest export. Qing is just... I love how it's Qing that's buying all the oil. It's not somewhere like Germany who could be guzzling the oil for production. It's just Qing who's buying it the most. And Qing is buying it for pop needs. It's entirely being used for pop needs for heating. It's just so good. I love it. Speaking of which, we should expand this, and I think we're selling furniture and glass, right? No, we're not privatizing glass. Now we are. Now we are. We're also missing out on over 100k income, primarily because of a certain tax waster. And then the areas that are not taken over for us here. Oh my god, Russia has all this gold. Oh, so much gold. Thank you, Russia. You won't thank me, but I will thank you. Britain's moving in on Egypt now to make them a protectorate. Well, we could technically intervene. I'm not looking to war. One of the biggest powers. We also have a lot of infamy as it is. Also, Germany stepped in, so it's fine. Germany will handle it. Go Germany! Yay! I just saw one of our financial districts privatize the steel mill. I thought that Frederick Crump would buy them all, but... Oh, Frederick Crump did just buy them. Oh, that's in Alsace-Lorraine. Oh, they must have just been built. They might have been built by us, and then they got bought out, perhaps? That's one possibility. Either way, I'm glad to see that more and more steel is coming online in Germany. That is very good to see. Very profitable business, too, it looks like. 298. Oh, my God. The amount of money that is just thrown into here is just extravagant. It's just unbelievable, the amount that's tossed in. Now, if we could just get more engines, that would be fantastic. But I get the feeling that's not happening for a while. Could still happen, I just don't think it will. Lusitanian mass migration, Greek mass migration. Oh, they already bought up more furniture manufacturers, but they're buying some foreign ones too. Excellent. And we can finally upgrade the army again with more meat and wine inputs. But also, more importantly, we can now improve our training methods. More officers and more recruitment per week. Just makes it a bit easier to build up a standing army whenever we need to. Oh man, they're just going to town with investing in actual structures now. How exciting. All the manor houses that we get to have now. Oh, Cuban uprising. Well, have fun with Cuban uprising. Not what I expected in Haiti, but, you know. Alright, I'd say go nuts, but I feel like they're just in pain down there. Oh, the 110 throughput for this is just so good. Peasant numbers are over 10 million now because of the growing workforce ratio as well as mass migration, so that's fine. Yeah, let's make the trade unions happier for 10 years. That sounds good to me. And we just finished macroeconomics. That was the tech that finished when I hit the button to open the menu again. It keeps happening. We do get a lot of government dividends still, so getting our debt down would help. Just because of all the stuff we own. So researching central planning and getting modern financial instruments is probably the next best two techs for us here. Because we can just squeeze out more money. We could also sell the buildings, but I'm being stubborn about it, not doing it, just because, I guess. It's probably why graduated taxation doesn't work as well as it could. And the Whig Party is just in the absolute lead. My God. That's going to dynamically change how things go later. Which is fine, it's just something we have to keep in mind. I do notice that our economy is starting to grow a bit slower, but that's fine. Are you incorporated yet? 21 months, so we will find out, hopefully find out soon. They're just buying up so much. And that immediately shifted us from 297 to 324 in government dividends. Very lovely. It's very good to see that kind of switch or shift. I probably shouldn't build this much tobacco, but I just have a good feeling about tobacco, you know? Don't actually take that as an endorsement. we're building it in-game, specifically in-game. Oh, Ching, your economy is growing again thanks to investments, but for the love of all that is holy, could you please get off traditionalism so the economy can grow better? If industry banned, that would be the funniest thing. Okay, there's a binding period of 5 years, but maybe that gives them the pressure to change to agrarianism? I do think that means our treaty's not enforced until they start enacting on it, though, right? Where is our treaty? Yep, they are committed to passing it, so we'll see how long it is. I don't know if they'll actually try to do it, though. I don't even know if it pressures the AI to do it at all. They might not do it. Oh, wait, no, they are! They're doing it! Right away, 30% chance? Ooh! So because it's a law commitment, they have a 25% chance increase to success? Ooh, that probably works both ways. Hopefully this means Qing will actually get to agrarianism and we can use it to modernize their economy a little. To our benefit, of course. I love having the trade unions in power, but I am actually going to go ahead and switch them out. I know that knocks solidarity off, but that's fine. I just want to get the other types in charge. Just to see what I can kind of pass here. I would actually like to get the secret police. Let's see if we can get the secret police this time. We tried to do it last time and we got pressured out of it and then realized how we could just remove that pressure. So now we've got to try it. Oh, the Jamaican Premium Regional Headquarters. Okay, yeah, no, welcome. This is funny. Oh, and they're like actually opulent now. Very cool. I'm still gonna laugh at the fact that they can't buy things because it's too expensive. And I just think that's really funny. Apparently, I just noticed that. Oh, the Bretonians! The Bretonians, or the Bretons, are obsessed with opium. The obsession of opium grows. Oh, the French are actually obsessed with luxury clothes. Hang on, we might actually have some obsessions in the background that we aren't aware of. Apparently there's some... The English are obsessed with fine art. The Rajput are obsessed with tobacco. There are actually some obsessions in the world. There are actually obsessions. Maybe not the ones we want, but they do exist in some areas. Not in as many as I hoped for, though. But it's still good to see that those are happening. I'd rather see them happen now and then instead of not at all. If it's not at all, that's just boring. Also, our economy should get stronger now because of the increased MAPI presence, but it also means states like New York now have 100% market access price impact. So the local price is whatever the market price is, which may actually help with importing various goods, which means I could probably just really build up the trade center in New York right now. The other ones on the Mississippi River, for example, will do a bit better too, but they may still struggle in certain aspects. It kind of depends on the situation at the time. Also, it could be they have a market access issue, which is a completely different beast. We'll get modern financial instruments done just because that'll help our finances a little. And then we are just going to hard focus on doing a lot of these technologies, which will still take a long time, but we could get it done. Our literacy rate's at over 75% now, too. And with any luck, our average standard of living will increase over time now that we've got a better... You know, we could pay the government workers more money. I did forget about doing that. We could also just drop taxes, if that would be nice. It would be cheaper to raise their wages, though. Especially while we let the interest rate go down more. You know what? What are we at for... We are an unacceptable government, and we do have a legitimacy issue. So we'll drop taxes, since it seems like the improvements to the economy have made it more feasible to lower taxes without a big penalty to our stability. And that is going to help us a lot, because first off, government is not really that unacceptable now, so the radicals generated won't be as large. Still there, just less so. But it also means all the pops that were benefiting from dividends should start to see a bit of a growth spurt, or in some cases like this one, it should stabilize them at wherever they currently are, and they shouldn't go down. Which is nice. And then a lot of our regular workers, if I could find some, they'll probably see a small increase to their standard of living with lower taxes. In some cases, they might not shift at all, but these engineers are going up a level. So it is going to help some of them grow, and that should help the economy. It'll also help the Mexican states be less damaged when taxes really hit them, because suddenly they have to pay taxes again because they're incorporated. Well, they're already paying some taxes, which is good. That's probably another reason why our finances have gotten slightly better, is all the states in Mexico started paying money, so all of these expenditures started being partially paid for. Not fully paid for, but we started to cover the cost at least. And you know what? I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna build more coffee down here because I can. There's no one to stop me. Also getting Lithuanians, cool. I see the radicals down here are still plentiful, but they seem to have calmed down a little. So that's nice. Mainly low legitimacy that's causing us our issues. Yeah, well, at least taxes are down. Still pretty high, just not as high. And it looks like we're going to start working on getting those prestige goods. At their stylish furniture, that'll be done in 3 years. Although we probably won't see that till next time. It depends on how far we can get here. Because I am still aiming to make these around 3 hours, though it's okay to go a bit further if we're in a really exciting moment. I don't mind that at all. And for example, I want to see, do I need to incorporate this, or is the company bugged? If it's bugged, that sucks. That means we wasted 5 years. Spain really hates us now. But if it's not bugged and I just have to incorporate it, then that's fine. Also, Qing may enact agrarianism by our pressure. Wait, by our pressure. Doesn't that mean Russia's on tenant farmers? They're fine. They've been on tenant farmers for a long time, I'm sure. Qing's economy is growing because of our investments. If we can get them off traditionalism, that 15% market access change would be really big. Also, they get more tax if their bureaucracy can hold it. I assume their bureaucracy can hold it because Qing hasn't gone bankrupt in this game. That I'm aware of. Oh, they don't seem to be bankrupt at the moment, so that's a good sign. How much of a starvation crisis do you have now? Is it the same as before? No, it's gotten bigger, 40 million, but I assume that's because the population grew. Yeah, 12 million unemployed. Yeah, that's just what it is. Why are you building so much fruit? Can't be that profitable. Are you trying to tell me something? Are you telling me I should go look at my company's list? It's still not here yet, because we haven't finished the incorporation, I'm sure. It's either that we have to do the incorporation first, and we'll find that out in a few months, but I want to find it in the list and just watch it. Oh, see, now it's saying again that I need... Weird. Very weird. Orchard Guild of Jamaica in Mexico. Oh, the Orchard Guild bought a bunch of them up, I see. Right, I just realized we'd be competing with another company now for these. That's weird. Although I don't mind the fact they're buying up the coffee plantations, because they are making the coffee plantations more effective and more efficient. And they are going to get us obsessed with coffee. Wait. Wait, Jamaica actually did it? Jamaica actually did it, even though they're not a significant producer. And you want to know what? I think it's because they got the regional headquarters. And that must have made it count. So the Orchard Guild, can that do anything? Let's go check their HQ. No, but they added sugar plantations to it. Which is pretty neat. Oh, cool, that treaty that Peru-Bolivia can sign with Brazil. Usually you don't see it. The monopoly on coffee plantations. That doesn't affect our prices, I don't believe. Oh. Wait. Does it? Jamaica's not in our market, right? No, they're not. Interesting. We'll have to see where that goes. I don't think it does affect us, but it could also just be trade is leaking in, and that's what that's from. I have no idea. We'll have to find out. I'm so glad to see we got back to normal taxes finally, and our money is actually still stable. There's still a lot of peasants because of the growing workforce ratio. But the lower taxes seem to have helped. Groceries are still extremely expensive, but, you know, that's... I guess that is technically our problem in a way. I just like to assume it's not. Oh, we never finished Freedom of Thought because we don't even have a level 3 art academy. Okay, well, let me just build like 3 levels of that then. Not because I want art academies, but because I'd like to just finish the journal entry so it's gone. And then we're not going to get free trade at this rate. Yay! Secret police! Now we can have much better stability and I don't have to worry about revolts. So now we can start taxing the masses really, really hard, right? That's what that means. That's not what that means. Reinvestment is really spiked too. That's good to see. The company headquarters especially, but it's gotta be just profitability in general for a lot of them. Things like Lee Wilson started getting more profit, and oh, Colt's Firearms has always just been what it is. That is good profit, actually. Wow, 584 for levels. Damn. This poor urban center has so many services, but it has no transportation. I guess we'll give it public trams then, because apparently it needs it. Oh wow, these food centers, 72 productivity with a wage of 23. I mean, I know the price is going back up, but wow. That is some productivity. These are prosperous laborers with a base wealth of 23. Oh my god. That's amazing. I mean, building more is going to crash it back down, but I think we should build more. Not too much more, but definitely build more. And then, how are all their... They have so many regional HQs now. Oh my god. They're in Russia. They've made Russia increasingly demand it. We're not causing famines, but we seem to be causing mild starvation. Oh, Russia is obsessed with groceries now. Germany is 70%? Oh my god. That's amazing. No one's starving over there. Our market's also 70% coincidentally. Yeah, I can see why the Tennessee Food Conglomerate is doing really good in profitability right now. They've had a bit of a spike in sales, so to speak. And given where our profits are at, I'm just gonna fully raise the wages of government workers too. We're just missing a good deal of our tax base. So we're gonna actually overbuild that. Partially because we have someone who is wasting tax. I think it's still the same guy, right? No, it's different. Okay, we just have to build up a lot of things then. Okay, the state's incorporated. Let's see if we can do the fruit company. Just because I said I was going to do it before if we could. I'm not seeing it. I don't... Maybe it's because we just need to own some now, but I'm not seeing it, and that's a little concerning. Okay, it's saying that we need to own 5 again, so that's just because they all got bought up and we don't own enough. Can I just nationalize all the levels here? No, we have to build more. Well, that's a kicker. Let's just... is there anywhere else I can build them that isn't with the coffee? Probably not. It's all kind of... Oh, up here. Oh, that's all with coffee. Alrighty then. I'm still curious, so let's just build these 5 and see what happens. If it works, fantastic. If it doesn't, that sucks. We'll get a different company. Kind of just go from there. It did mention privately owned, but a lot of those are being owned by a company, and I can't take it from another company. 5 building levels of any combination in a single state that are privately owned, but we do own them. Is it not registering that then? Do I need to own these sugar plantations next to it? I could nationalize those. There we go, we own them. Now I'm just gonna remove privatization from there so we keep them. Does that work? No. Okay, so it looks like the United Fruit Company might be bugged. There might be an ongoing bug with it because it is not working. So we're going to have to choose a different company, which is unfortunate. But it is what it is. We could do the plantations here. We have all those buildings, but since Jamaica is actually investing with that very company, we're not going to do that. That would be a waste of a company slot. The Fabric Guild would be too, just because I don't want prime meat, even though that would help the food industries. It would also shift demand towards meat, same with the fish. So it's kind of touch and go there. Gold mines for minting wouldn't be bad, but I feel like we need something else. It's either textiles for me or the metalworks. But the metalworks would compete for the arms industry. Which I guess no problem. Give the Colts a monopoly, which we already did, and they should never have an issue again. They could foreign own munition plants. I just thought of that. That would be funny. So that might be something to do then. That way we get a lot of precision tools, and that would help a lot of production. The alternative, like I said, is to just do the textiles. So that way our textile mills are a lot more productive than they currently are. But I feel like tools would be better suited. Just so they're more productive. So let's get that. And what can the metalworks get for industry? Steel mills. You're funny. Oh, look at that. We can't give it the monopoly on the arms industry because something already has it, which is cool. Oh! I didn't think we could get Alaska. I thought it was impossible for us to get Alaska because the journal entry had expired. We now own Alaska. Yay! We got it in the end after all. Time to start colonizing it. Oh, I see. I see why they sold Alaska to us. It's kind of on fire. No one wants to be here as a result. Yeah, I guess I would sell Alaska too at that point. I don't know if the metalworks was the best idea. I normally go with 2 mining companies in my previous games. But since we can't make things like steel domestically, I think we just gotta go about it in a really weird way instead. And this is my way of going about it. Well, they're already building new ones. Have you just bought new ones instead? I kind of have. Oh, are they set up in New York as well? They are. We have 3 company HQs in New York now. That's brilliant. I love it. And New York is full on its trade capacity, so why don't we just build up another 50 levels? I really shouldn't, but I'm gonna. Because I think it's funny, even though the urban center definitely doesn't think so. How are we doing on Merchant Marines? Very good. Oh, we were in pause. I thought we were paused. I was observing because I thought we were paused. But I was lied to. Oh, well. Oh. Did we suddenly spike our engine usage or something? What happened? We suddenly do not have engines. Oh, maybe it's because the New York got expanded and its trade went wild. I'm not sure though. Kind of let that build up a bit more though while we look for other places to expand. It is saying New York could actually import a ton now, but I want to kind of expand some of the others too, just to kind of spread it out a little. It is slow. The trade capacity is slowly growing up there, though, but I think it's being careful because its weekly balance is not great. Subventions are the only reason why I can keep doing it. We are good on them again. It could just be there was a hiccup in the market, maybe. Germany is kind of exporting a ton of them. Are they maybe putting tariff? They're probably putting protectional tariffs on them so they don't over export them and suffer themselves by not having any. Trying to see if that's so. Yeah, they do have a 12.5% tariff rate on it, which is low tariffs with a protectionism law. I assume steel is under a similar guidance. I bet they're all setting up at that. Yeah. And I don't think there's a way. I would really love to negotiate no tariffs off of one of those. Really, engines. But they really hate that idea to the point where you have to give them something that's extremely valuable, or they will not. They just will not do it. Maybe we could agree to send them a variety of resources. No, that's not giving a lot. I bet there's only so much you can do before it starts to tell you off for that. Nope, wrong button. Let's go look at Qing here. Oh, they did it. They passed agrarianism. Qing has passed agrarianism. Yes, let's go. That's just going to help everything be a little more productive, which also means anything we put in it is a bit more attractive to buy out. And it just makes Qing more attractive to invest in, too. And it looks like they're privatizing a lot right now. Wow. I don't know why they're building banana plantations, but I'm not going to question it. It seems to be something that's working. Should also help their trade centers be more productive, too. Well, most of them. Ooh, Suzo silk. Good to see that they're making special silk. Oh, they're passing secret police now. That's funny. The next best thing would be to get them off serfdom, but, can I actually edit the treaty to do that? Probably not, right? It probably wouldn't let me do that. That would be a bit abusive. I feel like it would be abusive. Homesteading. Oh yeah, no, they won't agree to that at all. They hate that. They hate that idea. Yeah, let's just leave it alone. Getting them off traditionalism was a really good step. It also means their investment pool is more active now, and that is something our food conglomerates branch can actually make use of. So while it's not ideal or perfect, it is workable. Trade capacity is still growing. It's probably struggling to find things it can buy. Engines are actually technically profitable, though, so... not a complete waste. These are still very profitable. 29 average annual wage. What is the one over here? 23? Goodness gracious. Oh, these really are prosperous laborers without any modifiers. That's insane. I love it. I love how insane it is. Oh, they already own 177 levels. I don't think I need to give them a monopoly. They're just going to find it themselves just fine. Oh, that's a throughput bonus. I'm not surprised that wood is increasing in demand, because if all those furniture manufacturers are being bought up and upgraded, essentially, you're going to see an explosion in wood demand because of the increased throughput bonuses. We're not going to hit 1 billion GDP with what we're doing, but we're definitely getting up there, that's for sure. And we'll research plastics so we can make more glass, is what I was going to do, but wow, glass prices are way down. Maybe let's skip plastic for now and get mechanized farming. Yeah. Yeah, that way we can upgrade the ranches to make meat better, and it will utilize our coal that we're not really using as much as we could. Although it is being used in fishing wars and urban centers at a fair rate. The American-Alaska earthquake. That's unfortunate, but what can be done? Oh, right, devastation. I might have forgot about that, yeah. Man, no one really wants to live in Alaska at this point. I can kind of understand why. It's just devastated. Yeah, New Mexico needs some development, so let's just kind of overwork it here. Yeah, given enough time, the Metalworks Combine will be done. We'll get stylish furniture here soon. Probably build the skyscraper. We're doing very, very good here. For a nation with industry banned, we do have a roaring economy. I don't know how much we've been impacting the construction goals. 76% of our basic food need is groceries now. I don't know how much we've been impacting the construction goals of nations like Britain and Germany here. But I would not be surprised at all if they've been building more steel because of the exports they've been making for steel. They do use a lot of it themselves, but there's a notable chunk of it being exported. So while they do produce a lot for their own needs, a significant amount of it is getting exported, which is good to see. That at least means we're having an impact. Actually gonna mass build one of these coal mines up and just see what happens with the coal price. See if that just causes more exports of cheap coal. Because that might be what we need to do, is just build it up and then they'll just export more of the coal because it got cheaper. We do import some fine art, apparently. I know we export a lot of iron that's used in a lot of countries, so that is something else we could build up more. It just seems to be a resource that our trade centers are willing to export when it gets cheaper. And with market access maxed out as best as we can from tech, there's no reason not to start dumping more into it. So you're at 520, but is that because you... yeah, wages went up by like 2 points. What happened? We have an election going on and everything broke apart again. Got it. The British menace must be deterred. No! Oh, there's a revolt in Qing. There's a liberal revolt in Qing. I guess reforms pushed... Oh, the secret police pushed it over the edge. And what is this? It still has serfdom, but it has census suffrage. Oh, well, let's see. Qing might just agree to, that they're cocky. They might offer us something. They won't, and they won't be our protectorate. Darn. We don't really have to get involved. Actually, Russia will get involved on Qing's behalf, so it's probably pointless to get involved. It is cool, though, how a liberal revolt occurred. I don't think it's because we switched them to agrarianism, but I like to think the modernization of their economy might have pushed things. Although it's really because they went for secret police. I assume it's here in New York? No? Where's our lovely skyscraper? In California. Okay, that works too. I don't mind that it's in California. It's just not what I expected. It's not where I expected it to be, you see. How is Standard Oil doing? Fairly productive. It probably needs more demand for it, but it's good. Yes, we are now producing better furniture. I say better furniture like it's somehow better. We should see furniture demand increase now. It's at minus 17% base price. It should grow, and both glass and paper should see less pop consumption. And it is starting to shift upwards a bit. Don't worry, they'll be there in 200 days. God, getting to Alaska is painful. We're probably just gonna have to do a naval invasion, so we'll just set up for that. Good thing we own a canal. Otherwise, oh, who knows what we'd do. Oh, this art academy is actually profitable. I guess I could build 2 more then. But yeah, paper demand is dropping. It's slowly seeing its pop consumption shrink. Oh, it actually grew there a bit. Maybe it's already done shrinking. Ah, some of our gold mines got nationalized by New South Wales. I'm not too surprised by that, but it is kind of one of those, oh, dang it moments, you know? I don't want it to be nationalized. Either way, we did see a demand for style. Oh god, they bought all of these. Oh my god, they own all the ones in New York now. Did they just buy all those, or was I looking at the wrong one? I was looking at a different one, but they just bought a bunch of these too, so they just started buying a lot at once. I'm noticing world market demand for it is starting to grow too. But so is general pop demand, so that's good to see. And I think this is growing each week as they buy more. Okay, not every week. That's a shame. Oh, of course demand's going to grow. If they own furniture manufacturers in Germany, for example, of course there's going to be an increase in demand. And then by extension, an increase in imports. That makes so much sense. I'll take the free tech towards film. Why not? Cool, we get to switch out the government again. Here we go. Oh, the yeoman farmers stopped doing honest work. That definitely messed with prices. By extension, the economy, which is going to just go up and down now as prices radically shift, and then the trade centers shift, and it's just a pain in the ass. Really, it's a pain in the economy, actually. And now we're working on precision tools, which will be done in 3 years by 1896. As long as everything goes well, of course. We're exporting guns, we're exporting opium, fruit. We're even exporting coffee, because apparently that's how much coffee we make. And honestly, I believe it. Surprised we haven't gotten any coffee obsessions thanks to the amount we have, but maybe the price has got to come down. Reinvestment is going through the roof now. The economy's just kind of taking off and kind of doing its own agenda. Honestly, I'm going to stop taxing services, which is going to be more of an upper strata tax reduction than it is the lower strata. If you look at the consumption taxes here before they disappear. But it is going to help all of them get a bit higher. Which is still pretty good. That will hopefully lead to a little more demand now. Maybe not a lot more, but, you know, it'll just help feed the economy. I don't know if we're going to reach our goal of 25 standard of living, but we'll definitely reach 20 at this rate. We just have to industrialize more and get more of the peasants to be not peasants as the workforce ratio grows. And I love how we have... This is 8 companies, right? I'm pretty certain we have 8 companies, or is it 7 companies? Yeah, we have 8 companies now. Oh, that's so beautiful. Yes, 2 of them are canal companies, but those canal companies have been buying up trade centers and ports and making them more productive. That's something to keep in mind. Is that they have been buying them up and making them at least somewhat more productive, which is good. And then owning those also improved our trade advantage, so it made sure that whenever it came to something like steel, we were always the importer. It's actually hurting some of our own states here, but New York just imports for us now. I guess, yeah. We still need the subventions to import as much as we are, just because of the price on the global market. But that's okay, it's working. I love how much luxury furniture we're importing too. Who makes the most luxury furniture? Luxury clothes is what I meant to say. 76% groceries, ugh. I assume we're more of a luxury furniture type, yeah. We import 2.9k, 2.5k. And I'm sorry, who's exporting the most? It's actually Qing, followed by Germany. Huh. You know, I can't say I saw that coming. But if I consider the fact they have a company backing it, it does start to make a little more sense. Not a lot more, just a little more. I think we need to make some more tools. Not too many. Not too much more, but just a little more. And level 4 home affairs. We're pretty much done with that. I'm actually going to go ahead and up Social Security level 2. I think we're at the point where the welfare payments won't be that bad. Although, unfortunately, the Colt company is suffering because the arms industries in Russia are just not having a good time. I don't think it drops to where it stops producing the prestige good, but I do think it will just have trouble in the foreseeable future. Which isn't great, but there isn't much I can do about that except hope it improves. We could actually make... You know what? I'm curious. What if we build like 10 arms industries in New York? Could we actually get those exported more? Oh, we have bolt action rifles. That uses oil. I would normally never consider using oil for guns. But we're just in such a funny and weird situation that... Honestly, I'm going to consider it for both. Well, maybe not artillery. Don't need artillery that much. But I could seriously see it for making more of the Colt rifles and then just exporting more of those. Hopefully they get exported. And we have built the first skyscraper in the world. Go us. Go USA. 65 with a 23 average annual wage. That's just stupid. This is at 29. It's at 65 still. My God. It makes too much money. It's too rich. It needs to be put down. It needs to stop. Honestly, I love that it's getting so wealthy. I hope it keeps growing. How is coal doing now that we started making more of it? It's doing fine. We did actually export a bit more of it. Not too much more, but Germany does import coal, which is funny because Germany's a nation in the game I'd expect to be exporting coal, but I guess they're industrializing to other sectors instead of coal. And it just kind of came out weird. Oh, we might have a war with Russia because they're trying to make Japan a protectorate, and we've been trying to get it in our sphere. It really doesn't hurt us that much, though, and it looks like Japan will jump in. Britain will jump in, so maybe we just let it happen. Ooh, but they would be willing to become our subject. So now it's a question of, is investing in Russia worth it? Is it worth it? It kind of is. It's been fun to invest in them. But I kind of want Japan to still be like our subject. Our little puppet. So I think, yeah, we'll mobilize and make them our subject. There we go. And then all I really need to do, and I see we did win in Alaska, is we just have to move the fleet to 2 different spots in Japan, and that's kind of it. Oh, we still didn't colonize this part of Alaska. That's still breaking. Right, we can't do guaranteed independence or trade privileges anymore, so we'll just remove that. Or the power block embassy, so we'll just remove all of that. The American-Russian treaty. Oh, they broke it in violation of its standing period, so that will make everyone like Russia less, at least. What's even better is, something I noticed, it does give them some infamy. So now Russia's going to struggle to find friends. Combustion engine spreading to us, and we can now upgrade. Oh wow, this needs to be upgraded. We can now upgrade our production of meat. Only another 1,000, but apparently we need a lot of it, so why not? And we can use that cheap grain to get more fabric. Apparently it's profitable, so we'll just do it. And I don't mind if that's privatized. It can be privatized. I think with Russia, we don't really need to mobilize that much. They do have a big standing army. But I'm fairly confident in our army. That being said, I am going to have 2 armies go over. Although, what is their big army like? It's got 42. It does have, they do have skirmish infantry. So, still worth considering. Oh, the Ottomans fell down to minor power. At least they're recognized. You know, they could be worse. They could just be not recognized. You know, Russia is a rival of Britain. We could use it to get back in Britain's good graces. They already declared rivalry on us anyway. It doesn't really change that much in the end, but, you know, we can try. Plus, Russia started this, so, you know, I'm just going to blame Russia. You know what? If our army, if our navy, or sorry, our army is in Japan, we could just go over and start blockading most of Russia's main coastline. And just, like, really mess them up, you know? Especially since we own the canal, we can just easily walk over to them. So the 2 countries I really don't want a war with if I can help it is Britain and Germany. Because Britain and Germany are the main ones exporting steel and engines. And we need steel and engines, which means I genuinely cannot afford a war with either country. And so a war with either country is a terrifying prospect. Anyone else like Russia, it's an inconvenience to our investments and trade. But Britain or Germany, it's a nightmare scenario for our entire economy. Because of the Ukrainian mass migration to Texas. Because of the extreme reliance we have on imports. In fact, I am curious here. Yeah, it's saying New York can just import so much more now, and I assume this is because not only did it become more profitable to import, but it's also because they are matching market full price areas. Wait, are they suffering tariffs? What are you importing that has tariffs? I mean, there are things I never touched on that have tariffs, yes, but I'm shocked there are tariffs at all. I never did turn off all the tariffs, I guess, huh? We are making like 50K from tariffs. Ah, it's coffee. We're actually exporting the coffee. Because I put high tariffs for the export on coffee. Okay, so we'll just turn that off then. And coffee goes from 24K... well, down to 22K, I guess, but they're not paying tariffs on that anymore. They're still paying tariffs. But we knocked most of... oh, coal! We're tariffing coal? I'm literally sitting here thinking, yeah, let's export more coal. It turns out this whole time we're tariffing it. I don't see it in New York's list. But yeah, so no wonders the coal prices never seem to get too high. I've been putting tariffs on it the entire time. So, of course, the trade centers never tried to export that much of it. They didn't want to pay the money. Sulfur, fruit. I mean, fruit makes sense. Are we importing sulfur or exporting sulfur? That's a good question. I don't really know. I guess it doesn't matter that much. It looks like we're importing it, which is fine. We can make more sulfur to mitigate that importation. It's just never been much of an issue because we can't build fertilizer plants. We can't build explosives. We can't build synthetic plants. We can only use it in paper. So fertilizer has been something we never really needed or thought about. But dropping those tariffs is important. That should help everything profit a little bit better. Not by a lot, but it should make it a bit easier for it to sustain its trades and make it a tad more profitable just by the extent of the fact that they don't have to pay as much to do any of it. This is exciting fun. We have kind of gone over our 3-hour timer that we expected, but I just wanted to let the embargoes or the blockade kind of build up, and it's probably done by now in Russia. Yeah, it's done. Whatever Russia was importing, they're going to struggle now. They can still import it if they pay the cost. It just makes it difficult. Between embargoes and the lack of world market access. Oh, right. We auto-embargo each other while at war. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, now they're just struggling to import. Apparently, they import dye from us, so that's just choking it. They still get money off of it, but that's partially because of subventions, partially because of extreme price difference. But you have to imagine that the price spiked because of the embargo and the blockade, which it appears to have done, which is going to hurt their economy in other ways. Actually did. It was at 103 million. It dropped to just below 100. Military assistance price thinking dropped to, yeah. I don't know what's bugged in that treaty. I might have to rip the whole thing apart and replace it because something's bugged in it where they're not agreeing or disagreeing. Oh, the food. It's at 71.2. It's just rising because I think food prices are rising. It's also probably because meat got cheaper now since we can produce it more efficiently, which, yes, does mean the livestock ranches did get better. Their wages still aren't fantastic, but for livestock ranches with no automation, it's pretty good. Oh, looking at that massive productivity when the wages are also really high is just so nice. This building alone is at 416k in dividends with 341k in wages. These shopkeepers are almost on the verge of opulency with some modifiers. We could honestly lower taxes to help it further, but it's just transportation. If you're around in a company area, it's really expensive, but if you're not, it's generally cheaper. But it looks like lately, even the areas that don't have that are getting more expensive. Presumably because we increased the wages. You know how I kept expanding my bureaucracy because we always needed more? Yeah, that's because I never upgraded to the standardized filing system when we got central archives. Wow! Talk about ADHD. I should have seen that so long ago. So paper's gonna be very expensive now, but it's okay. We're gonna work on that really quick. I'm just gonna make sure that's assigned. And yeah, now we won't need that for a while. And that's the last tech I wanted to get before we reach a temporary endpoint here. It's gonna need more engines. It's gonna kill our coal demand, which we can just export. I hope we just export the oil, which it's gonna need a couple of weeks of adjustment for, but that's okay. That's what the New York Trade Center is for, in all of its mismanaged glory. We do export oil at a good price, though, for us. But yeah, you're gonna see that the goods for government buildings spiked, but we shouldn't need to expand that at all in the future for a very long time, unless it's a specific area that's just missing stuff. And the food conglomerate's got almost 600k if you include all of its regional stuff. The American Home Goods Inc. is actually already the second largest one. Wow. I knew it'd be profitable, but I didn't think it'd be this profitable. They haven't even bought them all up yet. I could give them a monopoly and make it even stronger. I really shouldn't. That would be probably pretty devastating to prices. But it'd be really funny. You have to admit, it would be really funny. We're not dying on engines, which is good to see. I mean, we kind of are dying on engines. They're pricey, but they're not missing. And although oil is very cheap, the productivity is the productivity has recovered as we export more of it to the global market. And it's mainly consumed by Qing, but Germany's getting in on it. Oh! Germany's making special engines now that we're importing? I didn't even notice that. Oh, that's so good for the oil derricks. 13% is prestige good inputs. Oh my god. Oh, Germany, you spoil us. Oh yeah, because they made 2 new companies. One of them is just railroads, and one of them is a lot of buildings, but focuses on engines. So we might even see them build more engines then, although steel and coal are a little up there as well. And they export most of their engines. We basically caused Germany to invest in engines solely so we could buy them. They're exporting about 5,000 engines, which means the German economy is partially grown because of the American economy. I love the attachment between the two. And I really should stop because of how long the video is getting, but I'm having fun. I'm having too much fun is the issue. I need to stop having fun. We are still paying subventions for this though because it's just so pricey on the market. But honestly, it's whatever. It's still so good. I know some of the stuff we're doing is just exports. That's what it's growing on, and some of it isn't, but... Oh man, it's just so good in profits. And it even pays a decent wage to the workers too, which is a nice bonus. And we're actually at a point where private construction is now half of our construction pool finally, so we might expand construction once again. Although I see that the investment pool, considering it's below the weekly gain, it's still spending everything with each tick. It is still spending. It is expanding even further into other countries. Oh my god, how much higher can that productivity get? That's sickening. It's over 700. I mean, the amount of assets they have. We lost our investment rights in Britain, but the regional headquarters there still exists. Oh, the one in Germany is 41 now. It's just increasingly buying them up. It might not do as well, but it's really good. And they're importing all the coffee. Who is exporting all the coffee? Are we exporting all the coffee? We are exporting all the coffee, and Germany's buying a bunch of it. And we have special reserve coffee because of Jamaica, a random tiny country who wanted to just make a random treaty with us, who very much could easily get pulled into our power block at will, actually. We really should pull them in. They're living secure lives on this island. That's crazy. I imagine the headquarters people are just, yeah, they're eating it up. I say let's invite them to the power block and just see what happens really quick. I just want to see. Because they have very expensive goods that they're sitting on, but now that they're in the power block, it should be fine. It does mean they are not fulfilling the power block embassy though, so we'll do that. We'll actually get rid of their money transfer and the goods transfer and trade privileges, but they will keep their right to invest. And they did agree to that. Oh my god, how long is this title? The Treaty of Peace, Amity, and Commerce between the Prince of Jamaica and the United States of America. Could you make it any longer? Talk about a wall of text. But yeah, so what this should do, it won't really help Jamaica's economy, but it will help Jamaica's standard of living. Because a lot of its pops should have more efficient access to goods, and they could actually get people to migrate there, maybe. It doesn't guarantee that they're all going to get better, but, I mean, their shopkeepers are going up instead of down now. Their capitalists are stable. So honestly, it's a good deal. I love how it's literally an island country is is investing so much into us that its people are living secure lives on average. They have a better average standard of living than I do, to give you an idea of how this works, or how it's working. And I have to look at the assets here. The regional headquarters actually owns 136. It owns more than the HQ itself does. Well, they both own a bunch in the United States. And I look at these statistics. Apparently at some point, oh, you want to know why? They lost all their trade centers because they're now a part of our power block, I guess, or something. I'm not sure. It might be because they're in our power block now, so it doesn't work the way it's supposed to. But I love these statistics. They are beautiful statistics for their company. And then globally, our companies are just growing. 404 building levels are owned by them now. That is just insanity. Well, that's across everything. 710. It blows my mind how rich they are now. And keep in mind, they have this level of opulency with a 13.9% tax rate, and they're spending 27% of it on transportation. They're growing right now. They're literally progressing to the next wealth level right now. Lee Wilson and Company on its own owns almost 700. And it's made cotton so cheap that I can't make money off of it. Oh my god. 169% throughput bonus, which could get even higher if we import more engines from Germany, who is already exporting even more of them. They were exporting just around 5K. It's now 5.5K. Germany's just going full throttle on the investment at this point, presumably because it actually has significant profitability due to high demand. And then that high demand grows because their trade centers buy more of it, and the trade centers then just cause the price to go up. And then they import coal from the US. It's so good. They're not even paying subventions. They're paying tariffs on these engines. And they're making 26K off of it in this one trade center that exports a lot of them. Imagine if it didn't have the tariffs. Oh my god. I want to tag over and see how much tariff revenue they're making. You know what? Before we end today, before we end here in a few minutes, let's tag over and we're just gonna see how much Germany makes in tariffs, because I'm too curious. They're making 223K from tariffs and 53K is from engines. They make 223K in tariffs and their total income is 906. Over 20% of their total income is tariffs, which means they don't need consumption taxes. They could lower their taxes. They could almost get rid of their taxes. They could really expand their production. Like, wow. I mean, they're just building motors. Oh, that's just so nutty to me. How much they're investing and just building on motors at this point. Westphalia is rich because of Frederick Crump there. So many people are just working for it. Oh my god, that's insane. Oh man, well done Germany. And I think well done us for the investments we've made. I'm actually curious about Britain as well at this point. I normally wouldn't do these reveals, but I want to check it out because of the tariffs. They're only making 25K on tariffs. They do the usual, the colonies pay for everything. But their massive 812 company in Yorkshire owns some interesting buildings, such as 75 coal mines that are getting 103 to 104% throughput. So they definitely have coal to spare for days. That's probably, aren't they importing coal? No, they're not. They're exporting coal because it's cheap. It's the German. No, they're not even exporting coal. Oh, that's crazy. I was gonna say, how are they doing on trade? It looks like Britain is suffering the inability to trade. I guess they're just suffering a lot of embargoes. Yeah, they're embargoed by Oh, even Belgium's embargoing them. Yeah, they're unable to make agreements. Everyone just hates them. So they're just not able to make any agreements or do anything. We are at over $500 million GDP. We're not going to get $1 billion by 1900, but I think in our next and probably final episode, I think we could get $1 billion. I think we could get our standard of living higher. We just need to kind of maybe give the investment pool the rest of our construction and just start dropping taxes further. Government dividends are helping. Graduated taxation is still not good because we rely more on income than we do dividends. We will get precision tools soon, and precision tools could help. Those could get jumped over to Germany. They use it to make things like steel. Do they use it for engines? I assume not. Oh, they do. I couldn't remember. So it could help them make more of these special engines. And one final thing to look at. That Jamaican company should have bought more of our... It did. So did it cause... I mean, it looks like it's supposed to be causing a monopoly, but it's not. It's a little confusing. So I'm not sure how that is. I don't know if giving them a company monopoly would cause that. I like to build it myself, though, but I wonder if giving them the coffee monopoly would cause them to just buy up the rest and then just mass build them. But I kind of want to be able to build them all because it looks like they bought up a good deal of them as it is. In fact, this one's at 132% throughput. Oh my god, the 70% prestige goods input. Those engines are insane. They're so good for plantations, especially if you don't use transportation in them. They're just so good for your plantations. It's honestly insane how good they are. Oh, I can't get over how good it is. Oh, I see, because this one's at 62 levels. That's why it's so much higher. Oh, man, I can't wait to keep going. Anyway, I will stop delaying. Thank you all so much for watching. Do let me know if you liked this, and I will see you next time.